Hey there, welcome in. Go ahead and get comfortable because you found your way to exactly the right place tonight. There's no rush here, no reason to hurry, nothing you need to do except settle in and let the day slowly drift away from you. Take a breath if you'd like, a slow one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And already, just like that, you're a little closer to rest than you were a moment ago. Tonight, we're going on a gentle little journey together. Nothing dramatic, nothing that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. Honestly, the whole point is the opposite of that. We're going to wander softly and slowly through some of the most quietly beautiful facts about life here on our planet. The kind of facts that don't demand anything from you. The kind you can let wash over you like warm water. The sort of gentle truths that remind you that this world is a soft and wondrous place, and that you're a small, cozy part of it. So here's the deal. My voice is going to be here with you the whole time, low and steady, like a friend sitting at the edge of your bed, telling you stories until your eyes get heavy. You don't have to remember any of this. You don't have to follow along carefully or keep track of anything. If your mind starts to wander off, that's perfectly fine. If you drift away halfway through a sentence and never hear the end of it, well, that's honestly the goal. That's a win. That means it's working. Before we sink all the way in, let me just say one quick thing, and then I promise I'll fade right back into that calm, easy rhythm. If you enjoy drifting off to these kinds of stories, if you find that my voice helps quiet your mind at the end of a long day, go ahead and tap that like button and maybe subscribe while you're at it. It's a small thing, but it genuinely helps this little corner of the internet keep growing so we can keep doing what we do best around here, which is helping the world get a little more rest, one sleepy soul at a time. That's it. That's the whole ask. Now you can let your hand go limp again and forget I ever mentioned it. Okay, let's begin, softly. You know, there's something I think about sometimes when I can't quite fall asleep myself. I think about just how old this planet is and how many nights it has already seen. Our Earth is something like 4.5 billion years old. 4.5 billion. That number's so enormous, it barely means anything when you say it out loud. And that's kind of the beauty of it. For all of those countless nights, the sun has slipped below the horizon, and the darkness has rolled gently across the land, and living things have found their quiet places to rest. Long before there were people, long before there were beds, or blankets, or soft pillows, the world already knew how to fall asleep. It's the oldest rhythm there is, and tonight, you're just one more heartbeat in that ancient, gentle pattern. Isn't that a comforting thought? You're not doing anything strange or new by resting. You're doing the most natural thing in the entire history of the world. Let your shoulders drop a little as you think about that. Let them sink down away from your ears. There's no weight you need to carry right now. The Earth has been holding everything together for billions of years without any help from you. And it'll keep on doing exactly that while you sleep tonight. Let's think for a moment about something small and soft. The ordinary blades of grass out in the fields and meadows of the world. You've walked across grass 1,000 times without giving it a second thought. But here's something lovely. Grass is one of the most patient, gentle survivors on the whole planet. It doesn't grow tall and proud like a tree, reaching for attention. it just spreads quietly, low to the ground, covering hills and valleys in a soft green blanket. And when the wind moves across a wide open field of it, the whole thing sways together like a slow ocean, rolling and rippling in waves you could watch for hours. Picture that for a second. A meadow at dusk, the light going gold and then soft blue, and the grass moving in these long, lazy waves, whispering to itself in a language older than words. There's nowhere it needs to be. It's just there, being gentle, being green, catching the last of the evening light. And speaking of the evening light, have you ever noticed how the whole world seems to exhale at the end of the day? It's not just you feeling tired. The entire natural world winds itself down as the sun goes low. Flowers that open their petals wide in the morning begin to fold themselves closed again, tucking their color away for the night. Birds that spent the whole day singing and darting from branch to branch settle onto their perches, fluff up their feathers, and go quiet. Even the bees, those busy little workers who buzzed around all afternoon, they head home too, back to the warm hum of the hive, and they rest. The whole world is doing right now exactly what you're doing. Slowing down, growing still, letting the darkness be a kind of soft permission to stop. I find that so soothing, honestly. The idea that you're not resting alone. All across the countryside, all across the planet as the shadow of night sweeps slowly around the globe, millions upon millions of living things are settling in for sleep at this very moment. Rabbits curled up in their burrows, deep in the earth where it's warm and quiet. Deer folding their long legs beneath them in the tall grass. Foxes tucked into the hollows between tree roots, their bushy tails wrapped around their noses. Every single one of them doing the same simple, ancient thing you're about to do. You're in very good company tonight. Let me tell you about something that always makes me feel peaceful when I picture it. Deep, deep in the ocean, far below where the waves ever churn and crash, there's a whole world of profound and total stillness. Up at the surface, the sea can be wild and restless, full of foam and spray and endless motion. But go down far enough, and all of that just fades away. The deep ocean is one of the calmest, quietest places that exists anywhere. The water down there barely moves. The light softens and then disappears completely, and everything drifts in a slow, weightless hush. There are creatures down there that spend their whole lives in that gentle darkness, floating along without any hurry at all, glowing softly with their own little lights, like tiny lanterns wandering through a peaceful, endless night. Imagine being held like that, suspended in warmth, in quiet, in the softest kind of dark. That's a little bit like what sleep can feel like, when you let yourself sink all the way down into it. You can start letting yourself sink now, if you'd like. There's no wrong time to begin. Feel the weight of your body against the mattress. Feel how it's holding you, how you don't have to hold yourself up anymore. Let the bed take all of it. Your legs, heavy and still. Your arms, soft and loose. Even the little muscles in your face, the ones around your eyes and your jaw, the ones that hold tension all day long without you ever noticing. Let them go slack. Let your whole face soften like it's melting just slightly into calm. Here's another gentle little truth about our world, one that I find quietly beautiful. Trees, the big old ones, they talk to each other. Not in any way we could hear, of course. But beneath the soil, tangled through the roots of a forest, there's a vast and delicate network. a kind of underground web that connects tree to tree to tree. And through those threads, the trees share things. They pass along nourishment. An older, stronger tree will quietly send food to a younger sapling struggling in the shade, helping it grow. They warn each other too, in their own slow and silent way. A whole forest, it turns out, isn't really a crowd of lonely individuals standing side by side. It's more like one enormous, gentle family, all connected, all looking out for one another, deep down where no one can see. When you walk through a forest, you're walking through the middle of a quiet, patient community that's been caring for itself for hundreds and hundreds of years. There's something so tender about that. Even the trees don't like to be alone. And the oldest of those trees, well, some of them are almost impossible to imagine. There are trees alive right now that were already old, already tall and wise, thousands of years ago. There are bristlecone pines up in the high mountains that have been standing quietly in the same spot for nearly 5,000 years. Think about that for just a moment as you lie here. That tree was already ancient when the very first stories were being told around firelight. It has stood through every single night for 5,000 years, through storms and snows and endless quiet mornings, just breathing slowly, just being. And it's still there right now, tonight, standing in the dark on some windswept slope, perfectly at peace. If a tree can stand serenely through 5,000 years of nights, then surely you and I can let go and rest easy through just this one. Take another slow breath with me. In, nice and gentle. Hold it for just a heartbeat and let it go. Feel how each breath out carries a little more of the day away with it. All the small worries, the little to-do lists, the things you meant to say, and the things you're glad you didn't. Let them float off like leaves on a slow stream. They'll still be there in the morning if you need them, I promise. But you don't need any of them right now. Right now, there is nothing to solve and nowhere to be. There is only this soft, warm moment, and my voice, and the gentle idea of a sleeping world all around you. We've got a long, easy while ahead of us tonight. You and I. I'm going to keep sharing these little wonders, these soft and soothing facts about the living world, for as long as you need to drift off. And there's no test at the end, no reason to stay awake for the good parts, because honestly, every part is the good part, and the very best thing you can do is not make it to the end at all. Just let yourself go whenever you're ready. I'll keep talking gently, either way, the way a stream keeps flowing, whether or not anyone's listening. So for now, just keep breathing slow. Keep letting your body grow heavier and warmer against the sheets. Picture that quiet meadow, that deep, still ocean, those ancient, patient trees standing in the dark, and let yourself become just one more peaceful, resting thing in a world that has always, always known how to fall asleep. We'll wander on together in just a moment, soft and slow, into more gentle wonders. There's no hurry at all. There never is. Not here. Just rest. Just breathe, and let the night carry you the rest of the way. Let me tell you about the honeybees now, because there's something about them I find so quietly comforting when the world feels loud. You might think of a beehive as a busy, buzzing place, all hustle and hurry. But the truth is a little softer than that. When night falls and the flowers close up their petals, the bees come home too. They gather back inside the hive, tucked into the warm, dark honeycomb, and they settle down together. And here's the part that always makes me smile as I'm drifting off. Scientists who've studied them closely believe that bees actually sleep. They stop moving, their little bodies go still, their antennae droop down soft and heavy, and they rest. Some of them even doze off, holding on to one another, legs gently linked, like they're holding hands in their sleep. Thousands of tiny creatures, all breathing slow in the dark, all letting go of the day at the very same time you are. Isn't that a lovely thing to keep you company tonight? Somewhere out there, a whole hive of little ones is nodding off right along with you. And you know what those same bees spend their bright hours doing? They make something that never truly spoils. Honey, if it's sealed away and kept dry, can last for thousands of years without ever going bad. People exploring the old tombs of ancient Egypt found jars of honey that were more than 3,000 years old, and it was still perfectly good, still golden, still sweet. Think of that. Something so delicate, made by such small and gentle creatures, outlasting whole empires. There's a kind of quiet patience in that, a softness that simply refuses to fade. And it all comes from those sleepy little bees, working slow and steady, never rushing, just doing their small part day after day. You don't have to rush either. Nothing good ever really comes from rushing. The sweetest things take their time. Let your thoughts drift now, out past the hive, out over the fields, all the way to the edge of the sea. Because the ocean has its own gentle bedtime stories, and there are more of them than we could ever hope to tell in a single night. Down there in the soft blue quiet, there's a creature called the sea otter, and I have to tell you about the way it sleeps, because it's one of the tenderest things in all of nature. When a sea otter wants to rest, it floats on its back on the surface of the water, rocking ever so gently with the waves. But otters worry about drifting apart while they sleep, about waking up alone and far from the others. So they found a simple, beautiful answer. They hold hands. They reach out and take each other's paws and float there together, a whole raft of them, gently bobbing on the tide, hand in hand, so the current can't carry anyone away in the night. Sometimes a mother otter will even wrap her sleeping baby in a strand of seaweed, like tucking a blanket around it, so it stays safe and close while she rests. Picture that for a moment, a soft gray creature, floating under the open sky, holding on to someone it loves so that neither of them ever has to drift alone. If you've got someone near you tonight, or even just the memory of someone who once held on to you, let that warmth settle over you now, gentle as a wave. And the sea keeps so many soft secrets like that. Have you ever thought about how old the water is? The very water rolling through those oceans, the same water that fills your glass and falls as rain and hangs in the morning mist. It's astonishingly ancient. Nearly all the water on this whole planet has been here for billions of years, cycling round and round, up into the clouds and down again, through rivers and seas and living things, and back once more, which means the water inside you right now, the water in every cell of your body, has been on an unimaginably long, slow journey. It may have drifted through a rain cloud over some forgotten forest. It may have rested in a glacier for 10,000 years. It may have been a drop of dew on a leaf when the very first flowers opened their petals to the sun. And now, tonight, it's here, warm and quiet, part of you, keeping you alive as you rest, You are made of some of the oldest, most well-traveled stuff on Earth, and it has finally, gently, come home to you. There's no need to hold on tight to anything. Everything moves in slow, patient circles, always finding its way back around. Let yourself sink a little deeper into the softness beneath you as we drift on. Let me tell you about the giant tortoises now. Those wonderful, slow old creatures that live out on quiet islands far from everything. A giant tortoise moves through the world at the gentlest pace you can imagine. It never hurries, never frets, never worries about being late, because it has all the time in the world, and I do mean all the time. Some of these tortoises live to be well over 150 years old. There have been tortoises who watched generations of people come and go, who were already grown and wise before anyone alive today was even born, and who are still out there right now, munching slowly on soft green leaves, blinking in the warm afternoon light, utterly at peace. They've learned something we sometimes forget, that there's no prize for finishing first, no reward for wearing yourself thin. The tortoise takes each step when it's ready to take it, rests when it wants to rest, and somehow ends up living longer than almost anything else on land. Slow and gentle wins in the end. Slow and gentle is winning for you right now, with every soft moment that passes. And speaking of taking your time, let me share something about the snail, that tiny traveler carrying its whole home on its back. When the weather turns dry or cold, a snail doesn't panic. It simply seals up the door of its little shell and settles in for a long, cozy rest. Some snails can sleep for months at a stretch, curled up safe inside their own walls, waiting patiently for softer days to return. And when the gentle rains finally come again, they wake up, slow and unhurried, and carry on exactly where they left off. No worse for all that resting. Imagine being able to simply close the door on the whole world and rest for as long as you need, knowing that everything will still be there, soft and green and welcoming, whenever you're ready to come back out. That's a kind of trust, really, a quiet faith that rest is not something to feel guilty about, but something the body is meant to do. Your body knows it too. It's been waiting all day for this very moment, for permission to finally let go. Now let your mind wander upward, away from the ground, up into the trees where the sleepy koalas live. If you ever want a lesson in the fine art of doing nothing at all, the koala is your teacher. These soft, round little creatures spend most of their lives asleep, dozing away as much as 20 hours out of every single day, tucked into the fork of a eucalyptus tree, wrapped snug against the branches. They wake just long enough to nibble a few leaves, and then they drift right back off again, warm in the dappled sunlight, swaying ever so slightly in the breeze. Some people might call that lazy, but I don't think it's lazy at all. I think the koala simply understands something deep and true, that rest is precious, that there's nothing shameful about being still, that a life spent gently dreaming in the treetops is a life well lived. Tonight, you get to be a little like the koala. You get to let the branches of your bed hold you, let the quiet rock you softly, and give yourself fully over to sleep with no guilt and no hurry at all. And here is a fact so soft it almost feels like a secret. Did you know that many, many animals dream, just like we do? When a dog twitches its paws and makes those tiny muffled sounds in its sleep, curled up warm by the fire, It's very likely chasing something wonderful through a dream, running across some endless meadow that only it can see. Cats dream, birds dream, sometimes even rehearsing their songs in their sleep, singing silently in the dark, so that come morning, their music is just a little sweeter. Even the great whales, drifting through the deep, are thought to dream as they rest. So tonight, as you fall asleep, you're joining an enormous, gentle company of dreaming creatures spread all across the world, in nests and burrows and dens and the wide open sea. Every one of them slipping softly into that same mysterious place we all go when we close our eyes. You're never alone when you dream. The whole living world dreams right alongside you. Let me tell you about the whales a little more, because their world is so vast and so calm that just thinking about it slows the heart right down. Out in the deepest parts of the ocean, where the light barely reaches and everything moves slow and dreamlike, the great whales sing to one another. Their songs are low and long and rolling, and they carry for enormous distances through the water, sometimes across entire oceans. A whale singing off one distant coast can be heard by another whale hundreds of miles away, as if the whole sea were one great room, and they were all softly humming to keep each other company through the dark. Their songs can go on for hours, rising and falling, patient and unhurried, like lullabies with no end. And they're not shouting, not straining, just letting these deep, gentle notes roll out of them and travel across the world. Somewhere tonight, in the black velvet quiet of the deep ocean, a whale is singing a slow song into the dark, and the whole sea is listening. Let that thought hold you like water. Let yourself float in it. And how do whales sleep, you might wonder, out there in all that endless water? They have the most peaceful way of doing it. A whale rests only half of its brain at a time, letting one side drift off into sleep, while the other stays just awake enough to remind it to rise up for a breath of air. So they hang there in the water, sometimes gathered together in small groups, floating upright and still, drifting slowly like great gentle statues in the blue, dozing, but never quite falling all the way under. You, though, you get to fall all the way under tonight. You don't have to keep any part of yourself on watch. You don't have to hold anything up or stay ready for anything. You are safe and warm and held. And you can let both halves of your mind sink softly down into sleep together. There is nothing here you need to guard against. There is only the soft dark and the gentle drift and the quiet permission to rest completely. Let's drift back toward the shore now, slow and easy, and rest a moment on the sand. Because even the beach has its sleepy wonders. Think of the sea turtles that come ashore in the dark of night, following nothing but the soft glow of the moon on the water. And think of the tiny hatchlings when their time comes, wriggling up out of the warm sand and making their gentle way toward that same silver light. Everything in nature seems to know the way home, seems to carry some quiet inner compass that points it gently in the right direction, even in the deepest dark. You have that too, you know, that soft inner knowing that carries you down towards sleep without you having to think about it at all. You don't have to figure out how to fall asleep, any more than the turtle has to figure out which way the sea is. Your body simply knows. It's already doing it. All you have to do is let it. And as the tide rolls in and out along that quiet shore, breathing its own slow rhythm, in and out, in and out, all night long without ever growing tired. Remember that you're part of that same great rhythm now. The whole world is breathing tonight. The forests are breathing. The oceans are breathing. Every sleeping creature is breathing soft and slow in the dark. And so are you, all of you together. One gentle rising and falling that has never once stopped since the very beginning. You don't have to do a single thing to belong to it. You already do. You always have. So let that steady old rhythm carry you now, wave after gentle wave, deeper and softer and further from the shore of waking, out into the calm, warm dark, where all the sleeping things go. We've got so many more little wonders to wander through together, you and I, and there's all the time in the world for them. No hurry at all. Just rest. Let's stay right here in this soft, drifting place a little longer, because there's something about the night sky I've been wanting to tell you. When you look up at the stars, you're not really seeing them as they are right now. You're seeing light that left them long ago. Some of it traveling for hundreds of years, some for thousands, crossing all that dark and silent space just to reach your eyes on this one quiet evening. So when you gaze up at a star, you're looking gently back in time, seeing a little flicker of the past that has been patiently on its way to you this whole while. Isn't that a soft thing to think about? That the light settling over you tonight began its journey so long ago, before you were born, before anyone you've ever known was born. And it's only now, this very moment, arriving at last. There's no rush in the sky. The stars don't hurry. They just shine, slow and steady, and let their light take all the time it needs to find its way home. You can be like that too. You don't have to arrive anywhere tonight. You can just let yourself be carried slow and easy wherever the quiet wants to take you. And speaking of the moon, that same soft silver light the turtles follow, did you ever stop to think about how gently it holds the whole ocean? The moon is so far away, so far, that it's hard to even picture the distance, and yet it reaches all the way down and lifts the seas, ever so slightly, twice a day, every single day. That's what the tides really are, you know? The sea leaning toward the moon, and then easing back again. A slow, patient breathing that has never once been rushed and never once been late. The moon doesn't strain to do it. It doesn't try. It simply is there, and the water simply answers, and the whole thing unfolds as softly as a sigh. Let that be a comfort to you now. You don't have to try to sleep tonight, any more than the sea has to try to rise. It happens on its own. It's happening already. That gentle pull, drawing you down and out, further from the bright, noisy shore of the day, and deeper into the calm, dark water where rest lives. Just lean into it. Let it lift you, and let it carry you. Now let me tell you about something happening right beneath us, right now, quietly under the ground where nobody ever sees it. Down there, threaded all through the soil of the forests, there's a vast and gentle web, finer than any spider ever spun, woven out of tiny pale threads that connect the trees to one another. The mushrooms you see on the forest floor, those little caps peeking up after the rain, they're only the smallest visible part of something enormous and slow and kind, spreading out beneath the whole woodland like a soft underground net. And through that net, the trees share things with each other. They pass along water and food, sending a little nourishment to a young sapling struggling in the shade, or to an old tree that's fallen on the hard times. The forest looks after its own, quietly, patiently, in the dark beneath the leaves, and no one ever asks for thanks. There's a whole world of gentle helping going on under your feet all the time, and it never makes a sound. Isn't it nice to know the world is holding itself together so tenderly, even in the places we can't see? You're being held like that too, right now, softly, from below and all around. You don't have to do anything to earn it. It's just there, holding you up while you rest. Let yourself grow a little heavier as I tell you about the sloths, those slow and dreamy creatures that live their whole lives high up in the green canopy of the rainforest. A sloth does everything gently. It moves so slowly that little plants, tiny gardens of green, actually grow right in its fur. And it doesn't mind one bit. It might take a sloth a whole long while just to reach from one branch to the next, one careful, unhurried movement at a time, and it's in no rush whatsoever to get there. It hangs in the trees, cozy and calm, and simply lets the days drift by. There's a real wisdom in that, I think. The sloth has figured out something that the rest of us are always forgetting. That you don't have to hurry. That slow is its own kind of lovely. That you can just hang there in the soft green quiet and let the world turn without you for a while. So take a page from the sloth tonight. Slow everything down. Let your breath get slow. Let your thoughts get slow. Let even the slow blink of your eyes get slower still, until they'd rather just stay closed, warm and easy, and not open again till morning. And up in the shallows of some warm and faraway lagoon, there are flamingos sleeping the night away. Those tall pink birds standing so peacefully in the still water. And here's the sweetest little thing about them. They sleep standing on just one leg, tucking the other up close and warm against their body, perfectly balanced, perfectly at ease, not swaying, not tiring, just resting there in the quiet, with the water-like glass all around them. It costs them no effort at all. It's simply the most comfortable way for them to be. Whole flocks of them, dozing together as the night deepens, a soft blush of pink against the dark water, each one balanced and still and completely at peace. You don't have to balance on anything tonight, of course. You've got your whole soft bed beneath you, holding every part of you, all your weight given over to it completely. But you can borrow that same feeling of easy, effortless rest, that sense that staying still and quiet takes no work at all, that your body has found exactly the position it wants to be in, and now it can simply stay there, soft and settled, all night long. Have you ever seen fireflies out on a summer evening, blinking their little lights on and off across a dark meadow? There's something almost magical about them. And it turns out, the light they make is one of the gentlest kinds of light there is. It's a soft, cool glow, made by a quiet little bit of chemistry inside their bodies. And it gives off almost no heat at all. Just a small, warm-colored spark, glowing and fading, as they drift low over the grass, looking for one another in the dark. And they're not the only ones who carry their own light. Far down in the deep ocean, and in certain hidden caves, and even in some quiet patches of the forest, there are living things that glow all on their own, casting the softest light into places the sun could never reach. Imagine that. All these little lanterns scattered through the darkest corners of the world, each one shining gently, asking nothing, just quietly lighting up the night for anyone who happens to pass by. You have a little light like that inside you too. You know, it doesn't have to blaze. It doesn't have to be seen by anyone. It just glows, soft and steady and warm, all on its own, even now, even as you drift off. Let it burn low tonight, like a candle turned down to almost nothing, just enough to keep you cozy, just enough to see you gently through to morning. Let me tell you about the otters now, because this one always makes me smile as I'm falling asleep. Out on the calm rolling swells of the sea otters like to sleep floating on their backs, rocked by the water, bobbing along like little furry boats. And so they don't drift apart from one another while they sleep, so that nobody wakes up alone. Far from the rest, they hold hands. They really do. They reach out and take one another's paws and float there together through the night. A whole raft of them, all linked up, all safe, all rising and falling on the same gentle waves. Sometimes they'll even wrap themselves in a bit of seaweed, tethering themselves softly in place so the current can't carry them off. Isn't that just about the kindest thing you've ever heard? To hold hands so you don't drift away from the ones you love. To keep each other close and safe through the long dark hours. Wherever you are tonight, whoever you're near or far from, you're part of that same tender web of things looking after one another. There are people who care about you the way those otters care, holding on, even in their sleep. And even here, even now, you're not really alone. My voice is right here with you, and the whole quiet world is keeping watch, and you can let go completely, knowing you won't drift anywhere you shouldn't. You're tethered gently to this moment, safe in the soft seaweed of the night. Now here's a tiny wonder that always fills me with a kind of quiet awe. The hummingbird, that small darting jewel of a bird, spends its days moving so fast that its little heart races and its wings beat too quickly for us even to see. But when night falls, something remarkable happens. The hummingbird slows itself down almost completely, sinking into a deep, deep rest where its heart barely beats and its whole body goes cool and still, saving all its energy for the morning. It's a rest so profound that it's almost like the little bird presses pause on the entire world. And then, when the sun comes up, it slowly, gently warms itself back to life and lifts off again, ready for a brand new day. There's no fear in it, no clinging to the daylight, just a full and total surrender to the night, and a quiet trust that morning will come again, the way it always does. You can surrender like that tonight. You can let yourself sink all the way down into the deepest, most restoring kind of rest, without holding on to anything, without keeping any part of yourself running. Morning will come. It always does. And it'll find you rested and warm and ready. But that's a long way off yet. And for now, there's only the deep, sweet stillness and you sinking softly down into it. Let's wander out to the desert for just a moment. Though don't worry, we're bringing all this cozy calm right along with us. You might think of the desert as a harsh sort of place, but at night it turns soft and cool and wonderfully quiet. And it holds one of the most patient wonders of all. There are seeds out there in the dry sand, tiny sleeping seeds that can wait for years and years, sometimes for a very long time indeed, just resting in the earth, dry and dormant and dreaming. They don't fret about it. They simply wait, holding their little spark of life safe and still, until one day the rains finally come. And when the water arrives at last, the whole desert answers all at once, bursting into a carpet of flowers almost overnight, colors spreading as far as you can see, a whole hidden garden that was there the whole time, just waiting for its moment. All that beauty resting quietly underground in no hurry, perfectly content to wait as long as it takes. There's something so peaceful in that, isn't there? The knowing that rest is not the same as being empty, that waiting quietly in the dark is its own kind of aliveness, gathering strength for whatever comes next. You're doing the very same thing tonight. This rest isn't you missing out on anything. It's you gathering yourself softly in the dark, the way those seeds do. And come morning, you'll be ready to bloom. And even the great glaciers, those enormous rivers of ancient ice up in the high, cold mountains, even they are moving, though so slowly you could never see it with your eyes. They slide downward a little at a time, so gently, so gradually, carried along by nothing but their own quiet weight, taking whole lifetimes to travel a distance you could walk in an afternoon. Everything in this world moves at its own perfect pace, you see. The glaciers in their slowness, the light of the stars in its patient traveling, the tide in its steady breathing, the seed in its long and dreamless wait. Nothing is hurrying. Nothing is late. It's all unfolding exactly as slowly as it needs to. And it all arrives, in the end, right where it's meant to be. So there's no need at all for you to rush towards sleep. You'll get there. You're getting there right now, drifting down as slow and sure as a glacier, as gentle as a tide going out. All you have to do is keep letting go, one soft breath at a time, and let the slow and patient rhythm of the whole wide world carry you the rest of the way down. We've still got so many quiet wonders left to share, you and I, and every one of them will keep. There's no hurry. There never was. Just rest. Let me tell you about the moss now, that soft green velvet you've seen growing on old stones and fallen logs and the shady sides of trees. It's one of the oldest kinds of plant there is, and it has this wonderfully gentle way of living. Moss doesn't need much at all. It doesn't reach for the sky or race anything to the sun. It just spreads itself out slowly, low and quiet, cushioning whatever it touches, softening the hard edges of the world, one tiny leaf at a time. And when things get dry, when the rain stays away for a while, the moss doesn't struggle. It simply goes still, curling in on itself, waiting, holding on to whatever moisture it has, patient as anything. Then the first soft rain comes, and it drinks it right in, and turns green and plump and alive again, as though it had never paused at all. There's a whole gentleness to a thing like that, isn't there? The way it asks so little and gives so much, laying down that soft green carpet across the forest floor, catching the dew, making a bed for every fallen leaf. If you were walking through the woods right now, in the cool blue hush of evening, and you pressed your hand down onto a thick patch of moss, it would give way beneath your fingers like the softest pillow, cool and springy and kind. That's the kind of softness that's holding you tonight. Let yourself sink into it the way a raindrop sinks into the moss, welcomed, absorbed, held. And speaking of the forest floor, let me tell you about the mushrooms. because they do something so quiet and so patient that most people never notice it at all. All through the night, while the woods are dark and still, mushrooms are pushing up gently out of the earth, rising in the cool, damp air without a single sound. They don't strain, they don't hurry. They just swell softly upward through the soil and the leaf litter, appearing by morning as if by some small, quiet magic, standing there with their little caps like tiny umbrellas set out overnight. And underneath them, spreading out beneath the whole forest, there's that vast entangled network of fine pale threads doing the slow, unseen work of the woods, breaking down old fallen things and feeding them back into the living world, so that nothing is ever truly wasted, nothing is ever really lost. It all just softens and settles and becomes part of something new. There's such peace in that, when you let yourself really feel it. The knowing that everything gets folded back in, gently, in its own time. That rest and stillness are part of the whole slow turning of things, not a stopping of them. You're part of that turning too, tonight. This deep rest you're sinking into is the soil doing its quiet work, gathering you up, feeding you back your strength, so that morning finds you whole. Let your breathing slow down even more now, if it hasn't already. There's no rush to any of it. Just let each breath come in soft and easy, and let each one out even softer, like a slow tide slipping back from the shore. I want to tell you about the flamingos next, because there's something so lovely and so restful about the way they spend their nights. They gather together in great pink flocks out on the still shallow waters of quiet lagoons. And when it's time to rest, they do the most graceful thing. They stand on a single slender leg, tucking the other one up warm beneath their soft feathers. And they let their long necks curve back so their heads settle gently against their own bodies, like a person resting their cheek on a folded arm. And they sleep, just like that, perfectly balanced, hardly moving at all, standing there in the shallow water as the moon comes up and lays a long silver ribbon of light across the surface. Whole flocks of them, hundreds and hundreds, all standing so still and so peaceful together that if you saw them from far away, you might think they were flowers growing right up out of the water. Imagine how quiet that must be. All those birds resting together under the wide night sky, the water barely rippling, the air soft and warm. There's a safety in it, you know, in resting close to others, in being part of a gathered and peaceful crowd. Even now, all across the world, there are countless creatures settling down to rest just as you are. All of us breathing slower together as the dark comes down. You're not resting alone tonight. You're part of the whole sleepy world, all of us drifting off together. And out in the wide open ocean, far from any shore, the sea turtles are doing something wonderfully calm as well. A sea turtle can hold its breath for a very long time, and when it wants to rest, it simply sinks down to some quiet spot on the seafloor, or tucks itself beneath a shelf of rock or coral, and it settles there still and slow, letting its great old heart slow right down until it beats only now and then, so gently, so far apart. Down there in the cool blue dim, it can rest for hours, barely stirring, cradled by the water, rocked by the faintest movement of the currents. And these are old, old creatures, sea turtles. They've been gliding through the oceans of this world for a length of time so vast, it's hard even to imagine, long before there were any people at all to watch them go. They carry all that ancient patience in the slow, steady way they move, never rushing, never fretting, just paddling calmly along through the endless blue, riding the currents wherever they lead, coming up now and then for a single quiet breath, and then sinking down again into the peace of the deep. When you picture a creature like that, resting so completely, trusting the water to hold it, letting its whole body go still and slow, doesn't it make your own limbs feel heavier? Let them. Let yourself sink down the way the turtle sinks, gently, with nothing to do and nowhere to be, held on every side by something soft and safe. Let me tell you about the way flowers sleep, because they really do, you know, in their own quiet way. Many flowers close themselves up when the evening comes. As the light fades and the air cools, they fold their petals gently inward, tucking themselves closed for the night, the way you might pull a blanket up over your shoulders. Some of them droop their leaves down low too, letting everything relax and settle as the dark comes on. And then in the morning, when the first warm light comes creeping back over the horizon, they open themselves up again slowly, unfolding petal by petal to greet the sun. It's a rhythm as old as flowers themselves, this daily opening and closing, this waking and sleeping, following the light around and around, day after day, season after season. Everything green and growing knows how to rest, you see. The flowers close. The trees slow their sap in the cool of the night. The grasses bow down under the weight of the evening dew. The whole living green world understands that rest is not a thing you have to earn or fight for. It's just part of the turning, as natural as breathing, as certain as the coming of the dark. So let yourself close up gently now, the way a flower does. Fold everything inward. Let the busy open petals of your day curl softly shut. You'll open again in the morning, unhurried, when the light comes back. But for now, it's time to be closed and quiet and held. There's a thing that happens deep inside the caves of the world that I've always found so soothing to think about. Down there in the dark, in the perfect stillness where no wind ever blows and no sound ever comes. The water drips down so slowly through the stone, one patient drop at a time. And with each single drop, it leaves behind the tiniest trace of mineral, so small you could never see it. And over time, over such an enormous and unhurried stretch of time, those tiny traces build and build, drop by drop, until great smooth columns of stone grow down from the ceiling and up from the floor, reaching so slowly toward each other that it might take longer than you could ever imagine for them to finally meet. Nobody is watching. Nobody is hurrying it along. It just happens, quietly, in the dark, drop by drop, year by year, for such a long, long while. And one day, in the deep silence, the stone from above and the stone from below touch at last, and a single unbroken pillar stands there in the dark, made entirely out of patience. Isn't that a beautiful thing to think about as you drift off? All that slow, silent building going on beneath our feet, needing nothing, wanting nothing, just taking its time in the dark. You don't have to build anything tonight. You don't have to do a single thing. You can just lie here, soft and still, and let the slow, patient quiet of the deep earth remind you that good things take their time, and that stillness is never truly empty. Let your thoughts go loose and slow now, like leaves drifting down a lazy river. I want to tell you about the way a pearl comes to be, because there's a gentleness in it too. Deep inside an oyster, resting on the bed of the sea, a tiny speck of grit finds its way in. Some small rough thing that might have been a bother, and instead of fighting it, the oyster simply begins, ever so slowly, to smooth it over. Layer by layer, it wraps that little rough speck in something soft and shining, coating it again and again over a long, quiet stretch of time, turning the thing that troubled it into something round and lovely and full of soft light. It never rushes. It just keeps gently smoothing, keeps softly wrapping, until one day, resting there at the bottom of the calm, dark sea, there's a pearl where the trouble used to be. I think there's a quiet kindness in that, don't you? The way something so soft can, in its own slow time, turn a small, hard thing into something beautiful, just by patiently covering it in gentleness, layer after layer, until it shines. Whatever small, rough things the day may have left with you, you can let the soft, slow quiet of the night wrap around them now, layer by gentle layer, smoothing them over, softening every edge, until they're nothing you need to hold on to anymore. And far above all of this, high in the deep, dark sky, the moon is drifting slowly through her long and steady path, the way she has for longer than there have been eyes to watch her. She pulls the tides along so gently, breathing the great oceans in and out, and she pours her soft, borrowed light down over the sleeping world, over the flamingos standing in their still lagoons, over the moss on the forest stones, over the slow turtles resting in the deep, and over you, right here, wherever you're lying now, wrapped up warm and growing heavier by the moment. She asks nothing of any of it. She just glides along, calm and pale and patient, keeping her quiet watch over the whole sleeping half of the world. And the earth turns slowly beneath her, carrying the night gently across the land, so that somewhere out there, always, someone is being lowered softly into the dark, into rest, into sleep, just as you're being lowered now. It's a great slow tide of nighttime moving across the world, and you're riding it, drifting down on it, carried along by something far larger and far kinder than yourself. Before we drift on to the next of our quiet wonders, I want to whisper one small thing to you, and then I'll fade right back into this soft and easy rhythm. If any part of these gentle stories has helped you unwind tonight, if your breath has slowed or your shoulders have finally come down from your ears, I'd love it if you left a little comment down below whenever you wake, just a word or two, telling me which of these sleepy creatures or quiet wonders you like the best, or where in the world you're listening from tonight. I so love reading them in the morning, all those soft little notes from people drifting off all over the world, and it helps these calm stories find their way to other tired souls who need a bit of rest too. But there's absolutely nothing for you to do right now, nothing at all. That's a thought for the morning, and the morning is still a long, long way off. For now, there's only this, only the dark and the warmth and the slow, steady sound of my voice, and you sinking softly down, deeper and deeper, into the sweet and patient stillness of the night. Just rest. We've still got so many gentle wonders left to share, and every single one of them will keep. Now, let me tell you about the penguins, because there's something so gentle about the way they keep each other warm through the long, cold nights. When the wind comes howling across the ice, they don't scatter, and they don't struggle against it alone. They gather close, hundreds and hundreds of them, pressing softly together in one great huddle until they've made a single warm and living thing out of all their small bodies. And the loveliest part, the part I think about as I'm drifting off, is that they take turns. The ones on the cold outer edge, where the wind bites hardest, they slowly shuffle their way inward, little step by little step, toward the warm middle, while the ones who've had their turn in the warm heart of it move gently outward to take their place at the edge. Round and round they go, so slowly you'd hardly notice, each one carrying the others, each one carried in turn. Nobody stays out in the cold forever. Nobody is left to shiver alone. There's a kindness woven right into it, a soft and patient sharing of warmth that just keeps turning through the whole long night. And when the pale light finally comes creeping back over the ice, every one of them has been kept safe. Isn't that a gentle thing to hold in your mind? That somewhere far to the south, in the cold and the dark, all those small round creatures are leaning into one another, keeping each other warm, taking their slow and tender turns. You can lean into your own warmth now, the softness gathered all around you, holding you just as gently. And while we're thinking of warm and huddled things, let me tell you about the way rabbits rest, tucked down safe in their burrows beneath the meadow. All through the day and into the deep of the night, there's a whole quiet world hollowed out under the grass, a soft maze of little tunnels and warm, round chambers, lined with dry grass and bits of fur, where the rabbits curl up together far below the wind and the weather. Up above, the field might be cold. The frost might be settling silver on every blade of grass. But down there in the dark, it stays snug and still and safe. And I love the thought that the whole meadow is quietly hollow with these gentle hidden rooms, all of them warm, all of them full of sleeping creatures breathing slow, right beneath the feet of anyone who happens to walk across the grass above. A secret world of rest, tucked away where nothing can trouble it. You've got your own warm hollow right now, this soft and hidden place where you're lying, far from anything that could reach you. Let yourself sink into it the way a rabbit sinks into its burrow, safe and deep and perfectly at ease. Let me tell you about the swans now, because there's something so peaceful in the way they sleep upon the water. When the evening comes and the lake goes still as glass, a swan will tuck its long, graceful neck back over its body, resting its head against the soft feathers of its own back, and it lets itself float there, gently, on the calm, dark surface. It doesn't need to find the shore. It doesn't need solid ground beneath it. It simply drifts, turning a little now and then, as the slow currents carry it, so at ease upon the water that the water and the bird become almost one quiet thing. And sometimes, in the very cold, a pair of swans will drift near to one another, and their two long necks curve down toward each other until, without ever meaning to, they've made the soft shape of a heart there on the surface of the lake. All night they float like that, gently rocked, going wherever the water pleases to take them, trusting it completely. Imagine being held so lightly and so surely that you could sleep upon the water itself. You're being held like that now, cradled by everything soft beneath you, drifting a little more with each slow breath, needing nothing, doing nothing, just floating quietly through the dark hours, the way the swan floats through the night. And out in the tall, dry grasses of the warm plains, the giraffes are settling down too, in their own slow and gentle way. You might not know it, but a giraffe hardly ever needs to lie down at all. And when it does so carefully, folding those long, long legs beneath itself, one after another, until it's resting low among the grasses with its great heart beating slow. And here's the tender part. Sometimes, when a giraffe grows sleepy enough to truly let go, it will curl its neck all the way around and rest its heavy head gently upon its own back or upon its haunch, making a soft round shape of itself there in the warm night air. It only rests that deeply for a little while, just a few quiet minutes here and there. But in those minutes, it lets go completely. That tall and watchful creature finally setting down all its height and all its watching, laying its head upon itself and drifting off beneath the wide and starry sky. There's a lesson in that, I think, in letting yourself set down everything you've been holding up all day. You can lay your head down now, fully, completely. You don't have to keep watch over anything. The night will do the watching for you. Let me tell you about the way deer move through the forest at dusk, because it's one of the gentlest sights there is. As the light goes soft and golden and then slowly blue, the deer come stepping out of the shadows at the edge of the trees, placing each hoof down so lightly, so carefully, that they hardly bend a single blade of grass. They move like something out of a quiet dream, pausing, listening, drifting on, grazing a little here and there in the cooling air. And when the darkness settles in fully, they fold themselves down into some sheltered hollow among the ferns, a fawn tucked close against its mother's warm side. And there they rest, breathing softly, their large dark eyes going half closed, listening to the small night sounds of the forest all around them. They know how to be still. They know how to melt into the quiet and let the night pass gently over them. Let yourself grow that still now, that soft and quiet, sinking down into your own sheltered hollow with nothing to startle you, nothing to move for, just the slow, easy rhythm of your own breathing carrying you deeper. And high on the mountainsides, where the air is thin and clean and cold, there are meadows that only bloom for a few short weeks each year, when the snow finally melts away and the sun warms the ground at last. All through the long winter, those meadows sleep under their heavy white blanket, patient and still, the seeds and roots waiting quietly beneath the frozen earth. And then, when the warmth comes, the whole mountainside softens into color, wildflowers opening all at once across the slopes, small and bright and low to the ground, drinking in the short mountain summer for all it's worth. But even in their blooming, they take their rest. Each night, as the mountain air turns cold again, those little flowers close themselves up tight, drawing their petals in, holding their small warmth close through the dark, waiting for the morning sun to open them once more. They live gently, in no hurry at all, resting through every cold night and every long winter, blooming only when the time is right. There's no rushing that kind of patience, and there's no need to. The mountain keeps its own slow time, and everything upon it rests when resting is what the moment asks. Let this be a resting moment for you now, the kind the mountain flowers know, folding yourself softly inward, holding your own warmth close, letting the dark hours pass exactly as they should. Let me tell you about the seals now, those round and dreamy creatures that rest along the quiet coves and rocky shores. When a seal wants to sleep out in the water, it does the most peaceful thing. It lets itself hang there, upright in the gentle swell, with just the top of its head poking out into the air, bobbing softly like a cork, rising and falling with every slow roll of the sea. They call it bottling, that lovely way of sleeping, because the seal floats there so calm and so vertical, like a bottle drifting on the tide, breathing easily whenever it needs to. Its eyes closed, its whiskers just touching the surface, and other times, a whole group of them will haul themselves out onto some warm, flat rock and pile up together in the sun, flipper over flipper, leaning on one another, so content and so heavy that they don't move for hours, just dozing there while the waves wash in and out below them. They're never in any rush to be anywhere. They rest when the resting feels good, and they let the sea and the sun do all the rest. You can be that content now, that heavy, that unhurried, dozing here in your own warm spot, while the quiet washes gently in and out around you. And in the warm, shallow seas, far from any shore, there are gardens of coral that have been growing so slowly, so patiently, that some of them are older than the oldest forests on the land. Each tiny coral is a soft and gentle thing, no bigger than the tip of your finger, and it builds its little stony home so slowly that in a whole year it might grow no more than the width of a fingernail. But they don't work alone, and they're never in a hurry. Over hundreds and thousands of years, all those countless tiny creatures build together, one soft layer at a time, until they've raised up vast and glowing reefs beneath the waves, whole hidden cities of color where fish drift by like slow, bright thoughts, and everything sways gently with the pulse of the sea. And at night, the reef grows quiet, the daytime fish tucking themselves into little nooks in the coral to sleep, wedging themselves in safe and snug so the currents can't carry them off while they dream. The whole reef settles into a soft and glowing rest, built by patience, held together by time, sleeping beneath the dark water. There's no rush in any of it. There never was. Everything beautiful down there was made slowly, gently, one small patient layer at a time, the same way the softest sleep comes over you, settling one quiet layer at a time until you're wrapped in it completely. Let me tell you, too, about the way the night birds sing, the ones who wait until the whole world has gone dark and still before they begin. When all the daytime birds have long since tucked their heads beneath their wings, a single voice sometimes lifts up out of the darkness, soft and clear and unhurried, singing not for any reason we can name, but simply because the night is theirs. The nightingale is one of these, pouring out its long, sweet, winding song into the dark from somewhere deep in the hedgerows, filling the quiet with something so tender it can bring a tired heart to peace. And the little owl calls too, that low and gentle hooting drifting far across the sleeping fields, soft as a question no one needs to answer. These are the sounds of the world keeping you company through the dark, the quiet music of the night watch, letting you know that even now, even in the deepest and stillest hours, you are not alone. There is always some gentle voice out there in the dark, singing softly over the sleeping world, and you can let it sing you down, down, deeper into the warm and the quiet, carried along on that soft and patient song. And far out on the open plains beneath the enormous sky, The wild horses are drowsing in the last of the evening light, standing quietly together in the cooling grass. Horses are gentle sleepers, and much of their rest they take standing up, in a soft half-sleep, one hind leg resting easy, their heads drooping low, their long lashes lowering over their dark and peaceful eyes. But when they feel truly safe, when the herd is close and the night is calm, some of them will fold their legs and lie right down in the grass, stretching out flat on their sides to sink into a deeper sleep. And they trust the others to keep gentle watch while they do. All through the night, the herd stays close, some standing, some lying, breathing slow together beneath the wheeling stars, each of them safe because the others are near. There's such peace in that kind of trust, in knowing you can lay your whole weight down and let yourself go, because you're held within something larger and kinder than yourself. You're held like that too, right now, part of the great soft company of everything on earth that's resting tonight. You can lay your whole weight down. You can let yourself go completely. The watch is being kept, and it isn't yours to keep. Not now, not tonight. There's nothing left to do but sink and drift and rest. Let me tell you about the elephants now, because there's something so tender in the way these enormous, gentle creatures take their rest. All day long, they wander the warm grasslands together, the whole family moving slow and easy, the little ones tucked close between the great legs of their mothers and aunts. And when night comes soft over the plains, the herd settles down as one, some of them dozing on their feet, swaying just a little, and some of them lying right down in the dust with a long, contented sigh. The very oldest and wisest of them, the grandmothers who've walked those lands for more years than you could count, they often stay standing near the edges, keeping a soft watch over the sleeping young. And here's the thing that always melts my heart a little. The whole herd remembers one another. They remember the ones they love across whole lifetimes, greeting each other with such gentleness after long times apart, rumbling low and warm and reaching out with their trunks. There's so much kindness in them, so much patience. And tonight, they're all dreaming together beneath the same slow stars that hang above you. You can let that image carry you, the great soft bodies breathing in the dark, the little ones safe in the middle of everything, held and warm and utterly at peace. And speaking of the smallest ones held safe by the largest, let me tell you about the butterflies, resting out the night on the undersides of leaves. When the light goes low and the air begins to cool, a butterfly finds itself a quiet leaf, folds its wings up tall and still above its back, and simply waits there for the morning. They can't fly in the cold, you know. Their wings need the warmth of the sun to work, and so through all the dark hours, they hang there perfectly motionless, their delicate wings closed like a little pair of hands, dreaming whatever soft dreams a butterfly might dream. Rain can fall around them, and the wind can stir the branches, and still they cling there, light as a whisper, trusting the leaf to hold them until the sun comes back. There's no worry in it, no straining to be somewhere else. They've done everything the day asked of them, and now there's nothing to do but wait for the warmth to come again. You can let yourself be just like that tonight. You've done everything the day asked of you too. You can fold your wings and simply wait for the morning, held by the dark, held by the soft place beneath you, with nothing left to reach for and nowhere else to be. Let me tell you now about something happening far up in the cold and quiet sky. the great slow wandering of the northern lights. Way up over the frozen top of the world, where the nights stretch long and the air is clear as glass. Ribbons of soft green and pale violet light come drifting silently across the dark. They pour and ripple and fold over on themselves, moving slow as breath, spilling their gentle colors down over the snow and the sleeping reindeer and the little villages tucked warm beneath them. And the wonderful thing is how quiet it all is. Something so vast, so shimmering, so enormous, stretched across the whole sky. And it makes no sound at all. It just glows and shifts and wanders, patient and calm, painting the darkness in colors soft as a dream. People have watched those lights for thousands and thousands of years, lying back in the snow and feeling very small and very safe beneath them. And tonight, they're still up there, still drifting, whether anyone's awake to see them or not. You can picture that soft light moving slow across the top of the world, and you can let your own thoughts move just as slowly now, drifting and folding and fading gently into the dark. Now let me tell you about the bats, because they're far gentler creatures than most folks ever give them credit for. When the day comes up bright and warm, the bats gather together in the cool hush of their caves and hollow trees, and they hang themselves upside down in soft, close clusters, wrapping their wings around their bodies like little folded cloaks. And there they sleep, all through the sunlit hours, hundreds of them sometimes, breathing slow together in the dark and quiet, warm against one another. Hanging upside down costs them nothing at all. Their bodies are made so that resting that way takes no effort whatsoever. Their little feet simply holding on all on their own while they sleep, so they can hang there perfectly relaxed, completely at ease, letting go of everything. Imagine that, resting so deeply that even holding on requires nothing from you. That's how loose and heavy you can let yourself grow tonight, sinking into the softness beneath you, every part of you letting go, held up without the slightest effort, carried into sleep as easily as those little creatures folded in their wings. Let me tell you about the great slow rivers now, the way they wind their long, unhurried way down toward the sea. A river is never in a hurry. Not really, no matter how far it has to go. It just follows the gentle pull downward, curving around the hills, spreading wide and calm across the low green valleys, slowing into deep, still pools where the water barely seems to move at all. A single drop of water might take weeks and weeks to travel from the high mountain springs all the way down to the ocean, wandering slow through the reeds and under the old stone bridges, past the sleeping cattle and the quiet villages, in no rush whatsoever to arrive. And it always gets there in the end. It always finds its way home to the sea, not by struggling, not by hurrying, but simply by letting the gentle downward pull carry it along, one easy bend at a time. You can let yourself be carried like that now, drifting slow and easy down toward sleep, not forcing anything, not straining toward it, just letting the quiet pull take you gently onward, knowing you'll arrive exactly where you're meant to be. And here's a lovely thing about the sky at night, about the way the clouds themselves seem to rest when the sun goes down. All through the heat of the day, the air is restless, stirring and rising, building those tall, bright towers of cloud that pile up high and busy across the afternoon. But when evening comes and the warmth drains slowly out of the land, the air grows still, and those great clouds soften and spread and settle, flattening out into long, calm layers that lie quiet across the darkening sky. The whole atmosphere seems to breathe out and grow peaceful, the winds dropping low, the air going smooth and gentle. Even the weather itself knows how to rest. Even the sky lays itself down when the day is done. And you can feel yourself as part of all that settling, part of the great evening calm that comes over the whole turning world. The air growing still, the clouds lying down, everything smoothing out into quiet as the darkness gathers soft around you. Let me tell you about the tortoises now, those ancient and unhurried creatures who understand the art of slowness better than anything else alive. A tortoise can live for well over 100 years, some of them nearing 200, plodding gently through their long, long lives without ever once being in a rush. They wake with the warmth of the morning, graze slow and easy through the day on the soft grass and fallen fruit, and when the cool of evening comes, they draw themselves into some sheltered hollow, pull their heads in close, and settle down to sleep beneath the weight of their own patient shells. And when the cold season comes, some of them sink into a deeper rest still, burrowing down beneath the leaves and the earth to sleep away whole months at a time, their great slow hearts beating only rarely, waiting out the winter in perfect peace. Nothing hurries a tortoise. Nothing worries it. It carries its whole home upon its back and moves through the world at exactly the pace that suits it. And it lives longer than almost anything for all its slowness. There's a deep wisdom in that, in taking your time, in letting things unfold at their own gentle pace. You can take your time tonight too. There's nowhere you need to be, and all the time in the world to sink slowly down into rest. Now let me tell you about the glowworms, cousins of the fireflies, who make their soft light in the darkest and quietest of places, deep in certain caves, where no daylight ever reaches and the air hangs cool and perfectly still. The ceilings come alive at night with thousands upon thousands of tiny blue-green points of light, glowing soft and steady in the dark. Look up in one of those caves, and it's as though the whole night sky has been carried down beneath the earth. A whole galaxy of gentle little stars spread out above you in the silence, their light reflecting in the still black water below until you can hardly tell which way is up. And it's all so quiet, so calm, just those small patient lights glowing on in the deep hush of the stone. The little creatures make that light so softly, so effortlessly, simply because it's their nature to shine. You've got a little of that in you too. You know, a quiet light that doesn't need to strain or struggle, that simply glows on gently through the dark, just by your being here. You can let it glow soft and low now, like those little lights in the cave, needing nothing from you, asking nothing of you, just shining quietly while you drift away into rest. Let me tell you about the way the mountains hold their snow through all the seasons, high up where the air is thin and clean and cold. Up at the very tops of the great peaks, the snow that falls in winter doesn't always melt away when spring comes round. It lingers and it settles, and layer upon layer it presses slowly down over the years until it packs itself into deep blue ice, the glaciers that lie sleeping in the high hollows of the mountains. And that ice moves, though so slowly you could never watch it happen. It flows downhill grain by grain, inch by patient inch, taking hundreds of years to slide the length of a single valley, grinding out the great smooth curves of the land as it goes, in no more hurry than the mountains themselves. The snow up there has been resting so long that some of it fell as snowflakes when your great-great-grandparents were young. And it's still there, still lying quiet and blue in the high, cold air, still slowly, slowly on its way down. There's such stillness in those high places, such deep and ancient calm. The whole weight of the mountain settled and silent beneath the falling snow. You can let that stillness fill you now. The deep quiet of the high places, the snow lying soft and undisturbed, everything at rest. And let me tell you one more gentle thing before we drift on, about the way the whole forest floor grows soft and rich and quiet in the dark, all through the woods, while the trees stand sleeping and the little animals curl warm in their burrows. The fallen leaves are slowly, silently returning to the earth. Layer upon layer they lie there, the leaves of countless autumns, softening and settling, and sinking gently down into the dark soil, becoming the very ground that feeds the roots of the trees above. It happens so slowly and so quietly that you'd never notice it at all. Just the endless, patient turning of leaf into earth and earth into new green life, round and round, gentle and unhurried, year upon year upon year. Nothing is wasted down there, and nothing is lost. Everything softens and settles and becomes something new in its own good time. There's such peace in that slow turning, such deep and easy rhythm to it. The whole forest breathing slow across the seasons, giving and receiving, resting and renewing. And you're part of that same slow rhythm tonight, part of the great gentle turning of everything, resting now so that you can rise again, letting the day settle softly down into the dark, becoming ready in its own quiet time for the morning still to come. Let me tell you now about the oysters, resting quiet and closed on the floor of the sea, doing one of the slowest and loveliest bits of work in all the world. You know how a pearl is made? It starts with the smallest thing, a single grain of sand, or some tiny speck that slips inside the oyster's shell and settles there where it doesn't belong. And the oyster doesn't fret about it, and it doesn't fight it. It simply begins, ever so gently, to wrap that little grain in smooth, soft layers, one thin, shimmering coat after another, laid down so slowly and so patiently that it takes years and years and years. And all that quiet time, all that unhurried care, turns the little rough speck into something round and glowing and beautiful, a pearl resting there in the dark of the shell at the bottom of the sea. Nobody watches it happen. Nobody hurries it along. It just unfolds in its own slow and peaceful way, down there in the cool green quiet, layer upon gentle layer. And I think there's something so soothing in that, the way a small hard thing can be softened and smoothed over time, wrapped in patience until it turns to something lovely. You don't have to fix anything tonight, or smooth anything over, or hurry anything along. You can just rest the way the oyster rests, letting the slow, soft work of the night happen all on its own. And let me tell you about the seahorses now, those tiny curling creatures that drift through the warm, shallow waters where the seagrass sways. They're such gentle things, so small and so slow, and they don't dart or race about the way other fish do. They simply drift along, upright and dreamy, moving through the water no faster than a leaf floating down a stream. And when a seahorse wants to rest, when it wants to stay still against the slow pull of the current, it does the sweetest thing. It reaches out with its little curling tail, and it wraps it gently around a blade of seagrass, and it holds on there, softly anchored, swaying just a little as the water moves past. All night long it stays like that, tucked among the grasses, rocking ever so gently to and fro, held safe and steady while it sleeps. It doesn't have to swim to stay in place. It doesn't have to work at all. It just holds on lightly to something soft and lets the sea rock it slow. You can do the very same thing now, holding on lightly to nothing more than the warmth of your own bed, letting the quiet of the night rock you gently to and fro, swaying softly down towards sleep. Let me tell you about the kelp forest too, because there's such a slow green peace in them. Way down beneath the surface of the cold, clear sea, there are whole forests growing, tall golden ribbons of kelp reaching up and up through the water toward the faraway light. And they sway, all of them together, leaning slowly this way and then slowly that way, as the great swells of the ocean roll past overhead. It's the calmest sort of dance you ever saw, unhurried and endless, the whole forest bending and rising and settling again in one soft rhythm, over and over, all day and all night long. Little fish drift in and out between the golden fronds, and the light comes down through the water in long, soft beams, and everything moves together, slow and easy, rocked by the same gentle swell. There's no rush down there, no sharp edges, just the long, slow leaning of the kelp and the quiet drift of the water, back and forth, back and forth. You can let yourself sway a little with them now, in your mind, leaning gently into the softness beneath you, rocked by that same slow rhythm, drifting and settling and drifting again. And let me tell you about the owls now, about the way they fly through the night so silently you'd never hear them pass. Most birds make a little rush of sound when they beat their wings, a soft whir or a flutter in the air. But the owl was made for quiet. The edges of its feathers are soft and fringed, combed fine like velvet, and they hush the air as it moves through so that the owl glides over the sleeping fields without a whisper, without a sound. It floats through the dark on wide, soft wings, silent as a shadow, silent as a breath, drifting low over the meadows and the hedgerows while the whole world sleeps below. There's something so gentle in that, a great bird moving through the night as quietly as a thought, disturbing nothing, waking no one, just gliding soft and slow beneath the stars. You can let your own breathing grow that quiet now, that's soft and easy, each breath drifting in and out as silently as the owl over the fields, smooth and hushed and slow. Let me tell you too about the dew that gathers so quietly all through the night, settling soft and cool across the grass and the leaves and the flowers while everything sleeps. All through the day, the air holds its moisture unseen. But when the sun goes down and the world begins to cool, that moisture comes gently out of the air and settles down in tiny beads, resting on every blade of grass, on every petal and every leaf, on every fine thread of the spider's webs strung between the stems. And in the morning, when the first light comes, the whole meadow glitters with it, thousands upon thousands of little drops, all catching the light at once, as though someone had scattered soft jewels across the grass in the night. But it happens without a sound, without a stir, just the slow, quiet gathering of the dew while the world lies sleeping, each drop settling gently into place all on its own. Nothing makes it happen. It just comes softly, in the cool and the calm, when everything has grown still. And you can let that same soft stillness settle over you now, gathering gently, quietly, the way the dew gathers on the grass, coating everything in a soft, cool calm while you drift. And let me tell you about the dandelions, about the way they send their little seeds off, drifting on the wind. You've seen them, those soft, round globes of white fluff standing up on their slender stems in the summer fields, and each one is made of hundreds of tiny seeds, and every single seed has its own little tuft of the softest down, light as a whisper, light as a wish. And when the wind comes by, ever so gently, the seeds lift up one by one and float away, drifting off on the breeze, carried along so lightly and so easily that they hardly seem to fall at all. They just rise and drift and sail away over the fields, wherever the soft wind cares to take them, in no hurry at all, letting the air do all the carrying. And each one settles down at last, somewhere far off, somewhere new, sinking gently into the earth to sleep through the winter and rise green again come spring. There's such an easy letting go in that, such a soft and trusting drift. The little seed carried off wherever the breeze may go, holding on to nothing, resting on the air. You can let go that lightly now too, drifting on your own soft breeze, carried gently along toward sleep, holding on to nothing at all. Let me tell you about the way a river finds its way to the sea, following the low and easy places, never once climbing, never once straining upward. Water always takes the gentlest path there is. It never forces its way. It simply flows into whatever hollow lies before it, filling the low places, sliding around the stones, always seeking the easy way down, the soft way, the path of least resistance. And so it winds its long, slow way through the valleys, curving where the land curves, pooling where the land dips low, patient and unhurried, always moving downward toward its rest. It doesn't fight the mountains. It doesn't struggle against the rocks. It just yields and flows and finds its way, soft and steady, giving in to the gentle pull that draws it always downward toward the sea. And there's a deep wisdom in that, a soft kind of ease, the way the water simply lets itself be drawn along the easy path, never resisting, never straining. You can let yourself be drawn that way now, down and down along the gentlest path there is, yielding softly to the quiet pull of sleep, flowing easy toward your rest. And let me tell you about the geese now, the ones that fly so far across the sky when the seasons turn, and the clever, gentle way they help each other along. When the geese take to the air on their long journeys, they don't fly all scattered and alone. They gather up into that lovely shape you've seen against the autumn sky, a long, soft V trailing across the clouds. And they do it to help one another, you see. The one in front breaks the wind for all the rest, and each goose behind rides just a little easier on the soft swirl of air left by the wings ahead, so that the whole flock glides along using far less effort than any one of them could manage alone. And when the leader grows tired, it simply drifts back into the line, and another moves up gently to take its place, so that no one ever has to carry the whole weight for long. They share it, turn by turn, all down the miles of sky, calling softly to each other as they go, an easy sound floating down from high above the sleeping fields. There's such tenderness in that, such quiet care, each one making the way a little easier for the others. And tonight, you can let yourself be carried too, resting in the ease that others have made for you, letting the night hold you up on its soft, wide wings. Let me tell you about the way the autumn leaves let go, because there's such a peaceful surrender in it. All summer long, the leaves hold fast to their branches, green and busy, working away in the warm, bright light. But when the days grow short and the air turns cool, the trees begin to let them go, gently, in their own good time. A soft seam forms right where each leaf meets its twig, and the leaf loosens there, so quietly, until at last it lets go altogether and drifts down through the still air, turning and floating and settling at last upon the soft ground below. And the tree doesn't grieve for it. This is just its way of resting, of drawing everything back inward, of settling down into the long quiet of the winter to come. It lets go of all it doesn't need, and it stands there bare and calm and easy through the cold, waiting patiently for the spring. There's no struggle in it, no holding on too tight, just the soft letting go of one leaf after another, drifting down, settling down, coming gently to rest. And you can let go that way now too, releasing one small thing after another, all the little cares of the day, drifting down and settling soft upon the ground, leaving you calm and quiet and light, ready for your own long rest. And let me tell you one last gentle thing before we drift on a little further, about the way the still pools of the forest hold the sky. Deep in the quiet woods, where the streams run slow and the ground lies flat, there are little pools of water that grow so calm and so perfectly still that they turn to mirrors in the hush of the evening. Not a ripple crosses them, not a breath of wind disturbs them, and they lie there so smooth and so untroubled that they catch the whole sky within them. The soft gray clouds, the first faint stars, the last warm colors of the fading light, all held there gently in the still dark water. It's as though the pool has gone so quiet inside that the whole world can rest upon its surface, softly held, softly kept. And that's the kind of quiet settling over you now, the kind of stillness where nothing stirs and nothing troubles the surface, where you've grown so calm and so smooth within that the whole soft night can simply rest upon you, gentle and undisturbed. You don't need to hold on to anything, or turn anything over, or stir the water at all. You can just lie there still and calm as the forest pool, holding the quiet sky, letting the peace of the evening settle down upon you, deeper and softer with every slow and easy breath. Let me tell you about the starfish now, resting down there on the quiet floor of the sea, because there's something so wonderfully unhurried about the way they live. A starfish never rushes anywhere. It moves along the sand and the stones on hundreds of tiny little feet, each one soft and slow, all working gently together, carrying it along at its own easy pace. And it doesn't have a heart pounding away inside it the way we do. And it doesn't have a busy racing mind. It just drifts along the seabed, feeling its quiet way through the cool water, in no hurry at all to be anywhere but exactly where it is. And if it ever loses one of its arms, it doesn't fret or grieve. It simply grows another, slowly, patiently, over the long calm months, letting the sea do its healing work in its own good time. There's such gentle patience in that, such trust that everything will mend if you only give it room. And tonight, You can rest in that same easy trust, knowing that all the small worn places in you are quietly mending too, softly, slowly, while you lie here and do nothing at all but breathe. And let me tell you about the seahorses, those tiny curled creatures that drift among the swaying grasses in the warm, shallow waters of the world. A seahorse is one of the slowest swimmers in all the sea, so slow that it hardly seems to move at all. It doesn't fight the current or race against the tide. Instead, when it wants to rest, it simply wraps its little tail around a blade of seagrass or a slender stem of coral, and there it stays, anchored soft and safe, swaying gently back and forth with the water, going nowhere, wanting nothing. It just holds on lightly and lets the sea rock it, this way and that, like a small boat tied up snug in a harbor for the night. And there's something so lovely in that, in finding one quiet place to hold on to and letting everything else drift by. You've got a place like that right now, this soft and gentle spot where you're lying, and you can wrap yourself around it, just the way the seahorse does, holding on lightly, swaying softly, letting the whole night rock you slow. Let me tell you about the way the coral reefs glow at night, because it's one of the most peaceful secrets the ocean keeps. All through the bright hours of the day, the reef is busy with color and motion. But when the sun goes down and the water turns to deep, dark velvet, something quiet and magical begins. Many of the corals and the little creatures that live among them begin to give off the softest glow, faint greens and gentle blues and warm pale golds, shimmering there in the dark like a whole sky full of stars sunk beneath the waves. It's a slow and silent light, not flashing, not hurrying, just breathing its soft color out into the black water hour after hour, while the fish drift by half asleep and the tide rolls slow overhead, and nobody is there to see it, way down in the deep. It simply glows for the pure, quiet joy of glowing, all through the night, whether anyone watches or not. And you can let yourself glow that way too, softly, quietly, from somewhere deep within, needing no one to notice, just resting in your own gentle light as the dark water of the night settles all around you. Now let me tell you about the owls, those soft and silent hunters of the nighttime woods. You might think of an owl as a creature of the dark, awake while the rest of the world sleeps. And that's true enough, but there's something about the way an owl moves that's the very picture of calm. When an owl flies, it makes almost no sound at all. Its feathers are edged with the softest fringe, so fine and so delicate that they hush the air as it passes through, letting the great bird glide over the sleeping forest without so much as a whisper. It drifts between the trees like a shadow, smooth and slow and silent, floating on the still night air. And when it isn't hunting, it settles down onto some high, quiet branch and simply sits there, calm and round and patient, its soft feathers puffed against the cool, its big dark eyes half closed, watching the moon come up over the trees. It doesn't fuss, and it doesn't fidget. It just perches there in perfect stillness, at home in the deep of the night. And you're at home in this night too, settled soft and quiet on your own warm perch, drifting easy through the dark hours the way the owl drifts through the trees. Let me tell you about the Arctic fox now, curled up small and warm against the long, cold night of the far north. Out there, where the snow stretches on for miles and the wind blows keen across the ice, The little Arctic fox knows exactly how to keep itself cozy. When the weather turns fierce and the cold comes down hard, it simply curls itself into a tight, round ball, tucking its nose down beneath its thick, bushy tail and wrapping that tail all the way around its body like the softest, warmest blanket you could ever imagine. And there it lies, snug and round and perfectly content, letting the snow drift up around it, letting the wind pass right over the top of it, holding all its own warmth close and safe inside its little curl. It doesn't mind the cold, and it doesn't mind the dark. It just breathes slow and easy under its cozy tail and waits out the storm, warm as can be. And you're wrapped up warm just like that tonight, tucked in soft beneath your covers, holding all your own gentle heat close around you, safe from every cold and every care, curled up snug in your own warm little burrow of blankets. And let me tell you about the way the snow falls softly on a still winter night, because there's hardly anything in all the world so quiet. When the air grows cold and heavy and the clouds hang low, the snow begins to come down, one flake at a time, each one drifting slow and silent through the dark. There's no sound to it at all, no patter like the rain, just a deep and gentle hush settling over everything. Each flake turns and floats and wanders down on its own unhurried path. And where it lands, it lies, and another lands beside it, and another, until the whole world is wrapped up soft and white and still. The snow covers the rooftops and the fields and the branches of the sleeping trees, muffling every sound, smoothing over every rough and busy edge, laying a soft blanket down across the tired earth. And in the morning, everything looks new and clean and quiet, as though the night has gently tucked the whole world in. That same soft hush is falling over you right now, settling down flake by flake, covering all the busy edges of your day, wrapping you up, quiet and white and calm. Let me tell you about the great whale songs now, because they travel farther than almost any sound on earth. Deep in the wide, dark ocean, the whales sing to one another, long, slow songs of low and rolling notes that carry through the water for miles and miles and miles. A whale can sing a song so deep and so patient that another whale, hundreds of miles away across the open sea, will hear it and answer back, their voices reaching each other through all that dark water, like a gentle conversation held across the whole wide world. And these songs unfold so slowly, each phrase rising and falling over long, unhurried minutes, that listening to one is like listening to the sea itself breathe. The whales are never in a rush to finish. They sing their long, slow songs all through the night, drifting and calling and answering, keeping each other company across the great dark deep. And you're not alone in the dark either, you know. All around you, near and far, there are others resting just like you, breathing slow, settling down, all of us drifting off together beneath the same quiet sky. Now let me tell you about the way the moon draws the fiddler crabs out onto the moonlit sand, on the quiet shores of the warm places of the world. When the tide slips back and the moon climbs up over the water, thousands of tiny crabs come creeping out of their little burrows in the mud to move about beneath the gentle light. They scuttle here and there so lightly, doing their small, quiet work in the cool of the night. And when the moon rides high, they grow calm and slow. And when the tide comes whispering back, they tuck themselves away again, down into their soft, dark holes, and pull the mud in gently behind them like closing a little door. They live their whole lives by the rhythm of the moon and the tide, resting when the water rises, waking when it falls, never fighting the pattern of it, just moving along with the slow, easy pulse of the sea. And you've got your own slow, easy pulse tonight, the gentle rise and fall of your own breath. And you can let it carry you along just the way the tide carries the little crabs, in and out, in and out, softly, endlessly, down into the calm. Let me tell you about the redwood roots now, because there's such quiet strength down there beneath the tallest trees on earth. You'd think that a tree so enormously tall, reaching up higher than you could ever throw a stone, would need to drive its roots down deep into the ground to hold itself steady. But the redwoods don't do that at all. Their roots stay fairly shallow, spreading out wide instead of deep, and reaching out sideways through the soil until they find the roots of all the other redwoods growing near them. And then they weave themselves together, root wrapping around root, holding fast to one another beneath the forest floor, so that each great tree is quietly braced and steadied by every other tree around it. That's how they stand so tall through all the storms and all the centuries, not by standing alone, but by holding hands down in the dark, all of them leaning gently on all the rest. There's such comfort in that, in knowing that even the mightiest things lean on one another. And you can lean now too, letting the soft bed beneath you hold your weight completely, letting go of every effort to hold yourself up, resting into the quiet the way the redwoods rest into each other. And let me tell you about the way the ferns unfurl, so slowly you could never catch them at it. In the shady, damp places of the forest, where the light comes down soft and green through all the leaves above, the young ferns push up out of the earth, all curled up tight, each one rolled into a neat little spiral, tucked in on itself like something dreaming. And then, over the long, slow days, so gradually that no eye could ever see it moving, each fern begins to open. It uncurls a little at a time, unrolling its soft green length gently outward, opening slowly to the quiet light, taking all the time in the world about it, never hurrying, never straining, just easing itself open breath by breath by breath. There's no rush in a fern. It simply unfolds when it's ready, at its own soft pace, in its own good time. And you can unfold that way now too, letting go of every tightly curled place inside you, easing open slowly, softly, releasing all the little knots of the day, one gentle turn at a time, until you're lying loose and open and calm. Let me tell you now about the way the great slow glaciers hold the light, high up in the cold, clean places of the world, where the snow of 1,000 winters has packed itself down deep and hard. The ice grows so old and so dense that it takes on the softest, deepest blue you ever saw, a blue like the heart of the twilight sky. And these vast rivers of ice move too, believe it or not, but so slowly, so patiently, that you'd need to watch for years and years to see them shift even a little. They flow down the mountainsides at the pace of a whisper, a hush of ice creeping ever so gently toward the valleys far below, carrying the quiet of the high, cold places down with them, glowing that deep, still blue in the long light of the evening. Nothing hurries a glacier. It has all the time there is, and it takes every bit of it, moving with a slowness so complete it looks for all the world like perfect stillness. And that same deep, unhurried calm is settling into you now, slow and blue and quiet as ancient ice. Every part of you growing still, every part of you slowing down, sinking gently toward rest at the softest, slowest pace there is. And let me tell you one last gentle thing before we drift on further, about the way the doves settle down together as the evening falls, when the light grows soft and golden and the day begins to fold itself away. The doves come home to roost, gathering in the leafy branches of the trees, shuffling close along the boughs until they're all pressed warm and gentle against one another. And then they begin their soft, low cooing, that round and mellow sound that seems to hold all the peace of the evening inside it, murmuring quietly to each other as the shadows lengthen and the first stars come out. It's a sound like the day itself, sighing softly to a close, easy and slow and deeply content. And one by one, they tuck their heads down into their soft chest feathers, and their cooing grows quieter and quieter still, until at last the whole tree falls silent, and they're all asleep, wrapped warm in the gathering dark. That same soft settling is happening in you now, your own quiet murmuring growing gentler, your own busy thoughts growing fainter and slower and further apart. Everything in you tucking its head down softly towards sleep, as the peace of the evening folds around you and holds you close. Let me tell you now about the quiet way the salmon come home. After years and years of swimming out through the wide and open sea, wandering the great gray distances of the ocean, there comes a day when something soft and certain stirs inside them, and they turn back toward the very stream where their own lives began. They find their way home by the faintest taste of the water, by some gentle memory carried deep within them, following the rivers upward toward the quiet mountain places where they first came into the world. And they don't hurry, not really. They rest in the slow pools along the way, gathering themselves in the calm shallows, letting the cool water hold them a while before they move on again. There's a patience in it, a sureness, a sense of coming home to the right place at last. And you're coming home too, in your own soft way, sinking back toward the deep, quiet place inside you, where sleep is already waiting, following the gentlest pull there is, drifting slowly homeward, needing to do nothing at all but let yourself be carried. Let me tell you about the way the mosses hold the morning mist in the cool green hollows of the forest, where the light comes filtering down soft and dim. The mosses spread themselves in thick and gentle carpets over the stones and the roots and the fallen wood. And all through the quiet hours, they drink in the mist, holding on to the damp and the dew, keeping the whole forest floor soft and cool and green. They ask for so little, the mosses: a bit of shade, a breath of moisture, a stone to rest upon. They don't reach for the sky the way the tall trees do. They simply lie low and content, spreading out slow and easy across whatever holds them, soaking up the quiet and giving back that deep green calm. And there's a lesson in that, I think, in wanting so little, in resting so easy, in being perfectly content to lie low and soft and still. You can let yourself be like the moss now, asking nothing of the night, reaching for nothing at all, just resting soft and low against the earth of your bed, content to simply be, content to simply rest. And let me tell you about the manatees now, those round and gentle giants who drift through the warm, shallow waters of the quiet coasts and rivers. They move so slowly, so peacefully, grazing on the soft water grasses, rising now and then to take a slow breath at the surface before sinking down again into the warm and dreamy shallows. Nothing about a manatee is in any hurry. They have no need to race, no need to fear, no need to do anything at all but drift along in the warm water, munching gently on the grasses, resting in the sun-warmed shallows, floating so slow and so calm that they seem half asleep even in the middle of the day. And when they truly do rest, they settle down near the bottom of some quiet, warm spring, rising only every few minutes for a soft breath without ever really waking, without ever quite stirring from their dreamy peace. Just imagine that warmth all around you now, that soft, weightless drifting, your whole body held and cradled and gently afloat, rising and sinking with each slow, easy breath, held safe and warm in the quiet water of sleep. Let me tell you about the way the barley bends in the evening wind. Out in the wide summer fields, when the sun sits low and golden on the edge of the world, the barley stands tall and ripe and heavy, and when the soft evening breeze comes rolling across it, the whole field bends together in one long, slow, golden wave. It's the gentlest thing to watch, that ripple moving across the barley, the way it bows and rises, swaying easy in the fading light, never breaking, never fighting the wind, just leaning with it, giving way to it, moving however the breeze asks it to move. There's no resistance in it at all, only that soft golden yielding, that easy bending, that peaceful going along with whatever comes. And you can bend that way too now, letting go of all your holding on, all your bracing against the day, simply swaying soft and easy with the gentle breath of sleep, leaning into the rest, giving way to it, letting it carry you however it likes. And let me tell you about the way the deep sea holds its perfect quiet. Far, far down beneath the waves, deeper than any light can ever reach, there's a vast and endless stillness, a hush so complete and so ancient that it's been resting there undisturbed for longer than we can imagine. No storm ever troubles those depths. No wind, no wave, no ripple of the busy surface ever reaches down that far. It's just cool and calm and dark and endlessly, perfectly still. A great peaceful silence stretching on and on through the deep. And the creatures who live down there move so slowly, so gently, drifting through the quiet like soft glowing lanterns, in no hurry at all, held in that changeless calm. Just picture yourself sinking down into a quiet like that now. Down below all the noise and all the movement of the day. Down into a place where nothing stirs and nothing troubles you. Where it's only calm and dark and soft and endlessly, wonderfully still. Holding you safe in the deepest peace there is. Let me tell you about the way the willow trails its branches in the water. Down along the slow riverbanks, where the current moves easy and the light lies soft on the surface, the old willow trees lean gently out over the water, letting their long, thin branches hang down loose and low until the very tips of them just brush the passing stream. And there they sway ever so slightly, trailing in the slow water, drifting back and forth with the gentle current, so relaxed, so loose, so completely at ease. A willow doesn't stand stiff and rigid against the world. It hangs soft and loose. It bends and trails and sways, letting everything about it go gentle and easy. And you can let your own body hang that loose now, that soft and heavy and free, every limb going slack and easy against the bed, trailing down into rest the way the willow trails into the water, loose and swaying and perfectly at peace. And let me tell you about the fireflies of the forest floor, the ones you might not know about, the soft ones who don't fly at all. Down in the damp leaves and the mossy hollows, there are little glowing things that rest quiet in the dark, giving off a soft, steady green-gold light. Not blinking, not flashing, just glowing gently on and on through the whole long night. They lie there among the ferns and the fallen leaves, small quiet lanterns scattered through the darkness of the woods, shining their soft light for no reason but to shine it, patient and constant and calm. And all around them the forest sleeps, the great trees breathing slow, the little creatures curled warm in their burrows, everything hushed and dark and peaceful, lit here and there by those tiny patient glows. Let that soft green light settle into you now, that quiet constant glow, warming some gentle place deep inside you, shining low and steady as everything else grows dark and still and drifts away toward sleep. Let me tell you about the way the clouds unravel at the end of the day. All through the afternoon, they gather and build and drift, those great soft mountains of white piled high against the blue. But when the evening comes and the air grows cool and still, they begin to loosen and to soften and to spread themselves thin. They stretch out long and slow across the fading sky, unraveling like combed wool, thinning to the palest wisps, going soft and pink and golden in the last of the light, before they melt away entirely into the deepening dark. There's no effort in it, no struggle. The clouds simply let themselves come undone, spreading loose and thin and easy across the quiet evening sky, dissolving gently into nothing at all. And you can come undone that way too now, letting all the gathered tightness of your day unravel and spread thin and soften. All your held together places loosening, dissolving, melting gently away into the soft dark of the night. And let me tell you about the way the crickets keep their slow, steady song. When the sun has gone all the way down and the fields have settled into darkness, the crickets begin their gentle chorus, that soft and steady chirping that rises up from the grass on every side, filling the warm night air with a sound as constant and as soothing as a heartbeat. It never rushes that song. It never rises to a peak or falls away in fright. It just keeps on, steady and slow and even. A soft pulse woven all through the darkness, holding the whole quiet night together. And there's something so restful in a sound like that, so steady and unchanging that you stop even hearing it as separate notes, and it becomes just the gentle breathing of the summer dark itself. Let that steady, soft song hold you now, that constant, easy rhythm, rising up all around you in the warm, still night, rocking you gently, holding you safe, keeping it slow and even time as you drift further and further down toward sleep. Let me tell you about the way the lily pads rest upon the pond. On the still green surface of the quiet water, the broad flat lily pads lie spread out flat and easy, floating so lightly, so effortlessly, held up by nothing but the calm water beneath them. They don't work to stay afloat. They don't strain or struggle or paddle about. They simply rest there on the surface, flat and open and calm, soaking up the soft light, floating through the long, still days without a care in all the world. And here and there among them, the water lilies open their soft white flowers to the gentle sky, resting just as easy, just as light, floating on the quiet water in the warm hush of the evening. Just imagine yourself floating that easy now, held up so completely that you need do nothing at all, resting flat and open and light upon the calm surface of sleep, carried without effort, floating without a single worry, held perfectly safe by the quiet beneath you. And let me tell you about the way the snow settles deep in the winter woods. When the storm has passed and the sky has cleared and the whole forest lies buried soft and deep beneath the fresh white snow, a hush comes over everything, a silence so complete and so gentle that it feels almost holy. The snow lies thick on every branch and bough, muffling every sound, softening every edge, wrapping the whole sleeping world in a thick white blanket of quiet. Nothing moves, nothing stirs. The trees stand still and patient under their soft white burden, and the only sound is the deep and perfect silence of the snow. And it's so peaceful, that hush, so soft and so complete, the way the snow gathers up all the noise of the world and folds it away into stillness. Let that same deep hush settle over you now, that soft white silence, muffling every thought, softening every worry, wrapping you up warm and quiet beneath a thick and gentle blanket of calm. Let me tell you about the way the sea anemones sway in the tide. Down on the quiet floor of the shallow sea, fixed soft and gentle to the rocks and the coral, the sea anemones open their delicate crowns of soft waving arms and let the passing water move them however it likes. They sway this way and that with the gentle wash of the tide, opening and swaying, drifting and swaying, so soft and so slow, held safe upon their rocks, while the water rocks them ever so gently back and forth. They don't fight the water. They don't hold themselves stiff against the tide. They simply open and sway and let the sea move through them, soft and easy, endlessly rocked in the gentle rhythm of the water. Let yourself sway that gently now, held safe and rooted in your own soft place, rocked slow and easy by the quiet tide of your breath, opening and softening and swaying ever so gently as the whole world rocks you down toward sleep. And let me tell you one last quiet thing before we drift on, about the way the stars wheel slowly overhead through all the long night. While you lie here warm and still and heavy, the whole vast sky is turning ever so slowly, ever so patiently, the great slow wheel of the stars swinging silently across the dark, from one edge of the world to the other. All night long they move, those distant quiet lights, drifting from east to west in their ancient unhurried way, keeping their slow and stately time above the sleeping earth. You never see them hurry. You never see them rush. They simply turn, gentle and constant, through the whole long peaceful night, watching over the dark and quiet world below. And they're turning over you now too, wheeling slow and silent above the roof that shelters you, keeping their patient watch as you sink deeper and deeper toward rest, holding their soft light steady in the dark, while everything in you grows still and slow and heavy and calm, drifting gently down beneath that turning sky toward the deep, soft place where sleep is waiting to fold you all the way in. Let me tell you about the way the moon jellyfish drift through the deep. Out there in the wide and open water, far from any shore, the moon jellies float along without a single care, pulsing softly, opening and closing their gentle bells, letting the slow currents carry them wherever the sea wants them to go. They don't swim hard against the water. They don't struggle to get anywhere at all. They simply pulse and drift, soft and slow and easy, glowing pale and translucent in the dim blue light, like little lanterns wandering through the quiet. And the whole ocean holds them up so gently, cradling them along on its slow, endless breathing, rocking them softly through the deep. Let yourself drift like that now, held up and carried along, pulsing slow and easy with each soft breath, going nowhere at all, just floating in the warm, dark water of your own quiet rest. And let me tell you about the way the fields of lavender hum in the summer heat, on the long, slow slopes of the warm hillsides, where the sun lies golden across the land. The lavender grows in soft purple rows as far as the eye can see. And all through the drowsy afternoon, the bees move slow among the blossoms, and the whole field gives off that gentle, steady hum, low and warm and endless. The air is thick and sweet with the smell of it, that calm and soothing scent that seems to slow the whole world down. Nothing hurries there. The bees drift lazy from bloom to bloom, and the purple stalks sway ever so gently in the warm, slow air. And the humming goes on, soft and constant, like the whole hillside is breathing out one long, peaceful sigh. Let that same warm hum settle over you now, that low and gentle sound, wrapping you up in the sweet, slow calm of a summer field, going quietly to sleep. Let me tell you about the way the pelicans glide low over the water. When the day is soft and the sea lies calm, the pelicans come sailing along just above the surface, their great wings held out wide and still, riding on the cushion of air that gathers between their feathers and the water below. They hardly ever have to flap at all. They just tilt those long wings a little, catching the gentle lift of the sea breeze, and they glide, low and slow and effortless, skimming along the top of the swells for such a long, long way, without a single beat of their wings. It's the easiest kind of flying there is, that low, soft gliding, letting the air and the water do all the work, while they simply rest upon it, sailing along the quiet edge of the sea. Let yourself glide like that now, held up soft and effortless, carried along without any effort at all, resting on the gentle air of your own slow breathing as it holds you up and moves you along toward sleep. And let me tell you about the way the sequoias drink the fog, high up in the tall, dark forests where the great trees stand. The morning comes in thick with mist, and the enormous sequoias, those ancient giants that have stood there quietly for thousands of years, reach out with all their needles and gather the fog right out of the air, catching the tiny beads of water on every leaf and letting them gather and drip down slow and steady onto the soft forest floor below. All through the cool gray morning, they drink that way, pulling the moisture gently from the mist, feeding themselves so slowly and so patiently from the very air around them. They never rush the fog. They just stand there, huge and calm and unhurried, letting the mist drift through their branches and give them what they need, drop by patient drop. Let that same soft slowness fill you now, gathering rest to yourself gently, quietly, one soft breath at a time, standing calm and patient as the peace settles over you, like morning fog through the trees. Let me tell you about the way the manatees rest in the warm springs. When the water of the sea turns cool with the changing season, the manatees come drifting slowly up the quiet rivers to the warm springs, those clear blue pools where the water stays gentle and warm all the year round. And there they gather together, soft and round and peaceful, resting near the surface in the mild, still water. They hang there almost motionless, those great gentle creatures, drifting just below the top of the water, rising ever so slowly now and then to take a soft breath before settling back down again into the warmth. They don't compete for space. They don't jostle or hurry. They simply float there together in the clear blue quiet, resting easy in the warm embrace of the spring, dozing the cool days away in perfect peace. Let yourself settle into that same warmth now, that mild and gentle water, floating soft and round and easy, held safe and warm as you drift ever so slowly down toward the deep, still place of sleep. And let me tell you about the way the snow hare turns white for the winter. As the days grow short and the first snows begin to fall across the northern lands, the snow hare quietly changes its coat, letting its brown summer fur fall away and growing in soft new fur as white as the snow itself, so that when the whole world turns to white, it can rest there hidden and safe, curled small and warm in a little hollow in the drift. It doesn't fight the coming of the winter. It simply changes with it, softly and slowly, letting itself become part of the snow, part of the quiet white stillness all around. And there it rests through the long cold nights, tucked down warm in its shallow bed, white on white, still and safe, and perfectly at peace beneath the falling snow. Let yourself soften into your own surroundings now, letting go of everything that sets you apart from the quiet, blending gently into the warm, still dark, until you're nothing but a soft and peaceful part of the sleeping world. Let me tell you about the way the water lilies close up for the night. All through the sunny day, they lie open on the surface of the still pond, their broad white petals spread wide to catch the warm light, floating there so calm and lovely on the quiet water. But when the evening comes and the light goes soft and low, the water lilies begin to close, drawing their petals in ever so slowly, folding themselves up gently one soft petal at a time, until they've gathered themselves into snug little cups, closed up tight and safe against the coming of the night. And some of them even sink down a little beneath the surface, tucking themselves away into the cool, dark water until the morning comes again. There's such a quiet wisdom in it, that slow folding, that gentle closing away at the end of the day. Let yourself fold up gently now, in just that way, drawing yourself in soft and slow, closing away all the openness of the day, tucking yourself down warm and safe into the quiet water of the night. And let me tell you about the way the mountain goats rest on the high ledges, way up in the steep and rocky places, higher than almost anything else can climb. The mountain goats find themselves little narrow shelves of stone, tucked out of the wind and warmed by the last of the evening sun. And there they settle down to rest, folding their legs beneath them and lying quiet against the mountain. They're so sure and so steady up there on those thin, high ledges, so perfectly at ease in a place that would frighten almost anything else. They don't worry about the height. They don't fret about the drop. They just rest there, calm and easy, chewing slow and gazing out over the whole wide sleeping world below, safe in their high, quiet place as the mountains turn gold and then gray and then dark all around them. Let yourself rest that surely now, high and safe and steady in your own quiet place, at ease in the stillness, gazing softly out over the calm as the light fades gently down toward night. Let me tell you about the way the plankton drift up through the dark. All through the daylight hours, the tiny drifting plankton of the sea sink down low, away from the bright water near the top, resting deep in the cool blue dark, where the light can't reach. But when the sun goes down and the whole ocean turns to darkness, they begin to rise, floating up ever so slowly through the deep, drifting gently toward the surface in the greatest slow migration in all the world. Countless tiny living things, all lifting quietly upward through the night. They don't swim hard. They just let themselves rise, soft and slow and patient, carried gently up through the dark water to spend the night drifting near the top beneath the stars, and in the morning they'll sink back down again, slow and easy, into the quiet deep. Let yourself rise and fall that gently now, lifted and lowered by the slow tide of your own breathing, drifting soft and easy through the dark, part of the great quiet rhythm of the whole living sea. And let me tell you about the way that aspens whisper together in the wind. On the soft slopes of the hills, the aspen trees grow close in great gentle groves. Their round little leaves hung on such slender stems that even the faintest breath of wind sets them trembling. And when the evening air moves through them, they all begin to whisper at once, a soft, silvery rustling that runs through the whole grove like a sigh. It's one of the gentlest sounds in all the world, that whispering of the aspens, that soft and constant shimmer of leaves, rising and falling with every little movement of the air. And down beneath the ground, all those trees are joined together, one great living thing sharing a single root, so that the whole grove is really one, whispering to itself in the twilight. Let that soft silver whisper move through you now, that gentle constant rustling, smoothing away every last little thought, carrying you off on a soft wave of sound toward the quiet place where sleep is waiting. Let me tell you about the way the seabirds sleep upon the waves, far out on the open ocean, miles and miles from any land. When the night comes down over the water, the seabirds settle right down onto the surface of the sea, folding their wings and tucking their heads beneath them. And there they rest, rocking softly on the swells, rising and falling with the slow breathing of the water all night long. They don't need any nest, any branch, any solid ground beneath them. The whole wide sea is their bed, and it holds them up so gently, rocking them soft and slow through all the dark hours, carrying them along on its endless, patient rhythm. And they sleep there peaceful, those little birds, cradled on the great slow swells beneath the turning stars, perfectly at home on the rolling water. Let the sea rock you like that now, soft and slow and endless, rising and falling beneath you with every quiet breath, cradling you gently on the great calm water of the night. And let me tell you one last quiet thing before we drift on a little further, about the way the wild horses sleep out on the open plain. When the night comes down soft over the wide grasslands and the whole herd has grazed itself full and drowsy, the wild horses gather close together, and while a few stand watch, the others lie down at last in the deep, soft grass, stretching out their great tired bodies right there under the open sky, resting easy in the warm dark with the whole herd around them. They feel so safe together, those horses, so calm and unafraid with their companions close on every side. And one by one, they let their heads grow heavy and their breathing grow slow, sinking down into deep and peaceful sleep beneath the wide and starry night. And that same deep safety is holding you now too, wherever you're lying, wrapped up warm and watched over in the quiet dark, with the whole peaceful world settled down to rest all around you. keeping you safe and gentle as you sink down further and further, soft and slow and heavy, into the deep warm grass of your own sleep, letting go of everything now, drifting easy and calm beneath that wide and gentle sky, where rest is waiting to take you all the way down. Let me tell you about the way the polar bears sleep through the long white winter, because there's something so cozy in it. When the deep cold settles over the far north and the world turns to endless snow and ice, the mother bear digs herself a little den down under a drift, hollowing out a warm round room in the snow itself. And there she curls up small and snug, letting the snow pile soft and thick above her until it seals her in from all the wind and the weather. And inside that little snow cave, it stays surprisingly warm, warmed by nothing but the slow heat of her own great sleeping body. And there she rests, breathing low and easy through all the darkest months, her tiny cubs tucked close against her, safe and warm and hidden away in that soft white hush while the storms go howling by far overhead. Let that same deep warmth settle over you now, wrapped up snug and hidden away from every cold and worried thing, resting easy in your own warm den while the whole world turns quietly outside. And let me tell you about the way the octopus settles down to rest on the floor of the sea. When the light grows dim in the deep blue water and the day begins to fade, the octopus finds itself a snug little hollow among the rocks, some quiet cranny just its size, and it folds all those soft long arms in close around itself and settles down into the dark. And here's the gentle thing about it. As it sleeps, its skin drifts slowly through soft changing colors, pale silver and gentle brown and quiet mottled gray, shifting and flickering ever so softly, like something dreaming, like the colors of a dream passing right across its resting body. Nobody knows for certain what it dreams of down there in the dark, but you can imagine it drifting through some quiet underwater world all its own, painting its dreams across its skin in colors soft as candlelight. Let your own thoughts drift and shift like that now, soft and slow and colorless, fading gently, one into another, as you sink a little further down. Let me tell you about the way the great old carp rest in the deep, still ponds. In the quiet gardens of the Far East, there are ponds where the fish have swum for longer than any person watching them has been alive. Slow golden and white and dappled fish gliding through the cool green water, some of them older than the great-grandparents of the folk who feed them. And in the cool of the evening, when the light goes soft on the water and the last of the visitors have gone home, those old fish sink down slow into the deeper water near the bottom, where it's cool and dim and still, and they hang there almost motionless, barely moving a fin, resting in the hush of the deep water through all the long quiet night. They live so slowly, those old fish, so patiently, drifting through year after peaceful year in their still green world. Let yourself grow that still now, that calm and unhurried, sinking down into your own deep, quiet water where nothing needs to move at all. And let me tell you about the way the snowy peaks turn pink at the end of the day, high up where the great mountains stand, far above the tree line, above even the clouds sometimes. The last light of the setting sun comes slanting low across the world, and when it touches those high snowfields, it turns them the softest shade of rose, a warm and blushing pink that glows there quietly on the very top of the world long after the valleys down below have fallen into blue evening shadow. The old climbers have a lovely name for it, that last warm glow on the mountaintops, that final gentle blush of the day. And it lingers there so peaceful, that soft rosy light, resting on the snow while the stars begin to come out one by one in the darkening sky above. Let that soft, warm glow settle over you too, that last gentle light of the day, wrapping you in its quiet rose-colored warmth as the evening deepens all around. Let me tell you about the way the beavers rest in their warm little lodges. All through the flowing streams of the northern woods, the beavers build themselves snug round houses of branches and mud, packed together tight and warm, with a cozy dry room up inside where the water can't reach, and a little secret doorway down below that opens out beneath the surface of the pond. And when the evening comes and their work is done, the whole family gathers up inside that warm, dark room, safe above the water, curled up close together on a soft, dry floor of wood chips and grass, listening to the gentle trickle of the stream just outside while they drift off to sleep. And even when the winter comes and seals the pond over with ice, they stay warm and snug in there, cozy in their little house with all their family close, waiting out the cold together. Let that same snug warmth hold you now, safe in your own warm room while the quiet world flows softly by outside your door. And let me tell you about the way the moonflowers open only in the dark. There are certain flowers, you know, that keep themselves closed up tight all through the bright and busy day, waiting, holding their petals folded away from the sun. And then, as the evening comes and the light goes soft and the cool air settles down, they begin, ever so slowly, to unfurl, opening their great pale blossoms wide and white beneath the rising moon, glowing there soft in the darkness and pouring out a gentle sweetness on the night air. All through the dark, they stay open like that, luminous and pale, offering up their perfume to the moths that drift by on the warm night wind. And only when the morning comes again do they fold themselves gently closed. They bloom for the night alone, those quiet flowers. They save all their beauty for the dark and peaceful hours. Let yourself bloom into the night like that now too, opening softly into the quiet dark, letting the day's brightness fall away. Let me tell you about the way the flamingos sleep, standing in their still pink lagoons. Out on the wide flat shallows where the warm water lies calm as glass, the great flocks of flamingos gather in the evening, thousands of them standing close together in the fading light. And when it's time to rest, they tuck one long leg up beneath their bodies and fold their graceful necks back to lay their heads down soft along their backs. And there they stand, perfectly balanced, perfectly still, resting on a single slender leg without the least bit of effort. It costs them nothing to stand that way, nothing at all. It's the most restful thing in the world for them. And so they doze there through the night, a whole great flock of soft pink birds, standing quiet and dreaming in the shallow water beneath the stars. The whole calm lagoon dotted with their sleeping shapes. Let yourself find that same effortless ease now, that perfect quiet balance, resting soft and still without a single ounce of effort anywhere in your body. And let me tell you about the way the great baobab trees hold the water through the long dry season. Out on the wide warm plains where the rains come only for a little while each year, the baobabs stand like enormous gentle giants, with trunks so vast and swollen that a dozen people joining hands could hardly reach around them. And inside those great fat trunks, they hold water, gallons and gallons of it, storing it away all through the wet season, so that when the dry months come and the land turns dusty and brown, they can go on quietly living, drinking slowly from their own deep private store. They stand for thousands of years, some of them, those patient old trees, watching the seasons turn round and round, holding their cool water safe inside, giving shade to every creature that comes to rest beneath their wide and gentle arms. Let yourself feel that deeply held and settled now, that patient and unhurried, carrying everything you need quietly within you as you rest. Let me tell you about the way the little dormouse sleeps away the whole cold winter. When the days grow short and the air turns cold and the food grows scarce in the hedgerows, the tiny dormouse, that soft, round, golden creature no bigger than your thumb, curls itself up into a perfect little ball, wrapping its long, furry tail right around itself like a warm blanket, and creeps down into a snug nest of woven grass and leaves, tucked away beneath the roots of a hedge. And there it sleeps, and I mean truly sleeps, sinking down so deep and so slow that its little heart barely beats at all, and its breathing grows so faint you'd hardly know it was alive. And it stays that way, curled up warm and dreaming, through all the long cold months of winter, waiting patiently for the spring to come again and warm the world. Half its whole life it spends asleep, that little creature, dreaming the cold away. Let yourself sink down that deep and that peaceful now, curled warm and safe in your own soft nest, letting everything grow slow and quiet and still. And let me tell you about the way the phosphorescent waves glow on the warm, dark shores. On certain quiet nights, in certain gentle bays where the water is warm and calm, the sea itself begins to glow, lit from within by countless tiny living things too small to see, and every wave that rolls up soft along the sand breaks in a long line of cool blue light, glowing and shimmering, and then fading away again into the dark. And if you were to trail your hand slow through that water, it would leave a trail of soft blue sparks behind it, glowing and swirling around your fingers like liquid starlight, gentle and cool and silent. All night long, those quiet waves come glowing in, one after another, painting the dark shore with their soft blue light, and then slipping away again, over and over, patient and endless and calm. Let that soft blue glow wash gently over you now, wave after quiet wave of cool and peaceful light, rolling in slow and easy and carrying you further down. Let me tell you about the way the great gentle manta rays glide through the open sea. Far out in the warm blue water, those enormous graceful creatures move through the ocean like great slow birds through the sky, spreading their wide dark wings and sweeping them up and down so slow, so easy, gliding on and on through the sunlit water without the least bit of hurry or effort. They can be as wide across as a small room, those great mantas, and yet they move so softly, so gracefully, wheeling and turning in long, slow circles through the water, sometimes drifting up near the surface, where the light comes down warm and golden, sometimes sinking down slow into the cool blue deep. And all the while, they wear the calmest look, gliding along peaceful and unbothered through their vast blue world. Let yourself glide like that now, slow and wide and effortless, sweeping soft and easy through the calm blue water of your own deepening rest, going nowhere at all in particular, just drifting gentle and free. And let me tell you, last of all for now, about the way the fields of cotton grass nod in the cool northern wind, way up in the far cold bogs and moorlands, where the ground lies soft and wet and the summers are short and gentle. There grows a plant that puts out tufts of the softest white. Little seed heads, light as down and fine as spun silk, standing up on their slender stems all across the marshy ground. And when the wind comes drifting cool and slow across those wide open lands, the whole field of white tufts begins to nod and sway together, bobbing gently this way and that, a great soft sea of white bending all as one beneath the low gray sky. They ask for nothing, those quiet plants. They just stand there nodding in the wind, soft and patient and calm, giving the whole cold moorland a gentle, drowsy look. Let yourself nod and sway like that now too, soft and slow and easy, swaying gently on the quiet wind of your own breathing, sinking further and further down toward the deep, warm place where sleep is waiting patiently to take you all the way. Let me tell you about the way the snow settles soft on the branches of the evergreens, way up in the quiet winter woods, when the sky has emptied itself of snow at last, and the wind has gone still, and everything hangs hushed beneath the low gray light. The great old pines and spruces stand there with their arms full of white, every branch bowed down gentle under its soft, heavy load. And nothing moves, nothing at all. Just now and then, a little sift of snow slipping loose from some high bough and drifting down slow through the still air, silent as a feather, settling soft upon the deep white ground below. The whole forest holds its breath like that, patient and calm, wearing its blanket of snow through all the long dark hours, resting quiet under the weight of it, in no hurry for the morning. Let yourself rest like that now too, soft and heavy and still, wrapped warm beneath your own gentle weight, sinking down into the deep white quiet of your rest. And let me tell you about the way the tide pools wait for the sea to come back to them. Along the rocky edges of the shore, when the water pulls away at low tide, it leaves behind a scatter of little pools tucked among the stones, small quiet worlds full of gentle life, where tiny fish drift slow and small crabs tuck themselves away in the shadows, and soft green weeds sway ever so slightly in the still water. And they simply wait there, those little pools, calm and clear and patient beneath the wide sky, holding their small treasures safe and warm in the last of the afternoon light, while far out across the sand, the sea gathers itself slow and easy and begins, in its own good time, to come rolling gently home again. There's no hurry in any of it. The pools wait, and the sea returns, and everything comes round again soft and sure the way it always has. Let that calm certainty settle over you now, that easy sense that all is well and all will come round in its own gentle time, and let it carry you further down. Let me tell you about the way the great slow clouds drift across the face of the moon on a still night, high up there in the dark, where the air is cool and clean and quiet. The moon hangs full and soft and silver, and every now and then, a long thin cloud comes drifting slow across her face, glowing pale at its edges where the moonlight shines through, veiling her gentle light for a moment, and then slipping away again, unhurried, dissolving off into the dark. And the moon shines on, calm and patient, pouring her soft borrowed light down over the whole sleeping world, over the snow on the pine branches and the still tide pools among the rocks, over the fields of cotton grass nodding in the far northern bogs, over all the quiet sleeping creatures of the earth, and over you, right here, wherever you're lying now, wrapped up warm and grown so heavy and so peaceful that you can hardly feel where you end, and the soft bed begins. Let that gentle silver light wash over you, slow and cool and kind, and let it carry you the rest of the way down. You've come such a long way with me tonight, drifting along from one quiet wonder to the next, and there's nothing left to do now but rest. No more places to go, no more things to picture, no more effort of any kind. You can let it all go now, every last little bit of it. Let your face go soft and still. Let your jaw come loose and easy. Let your shoulders sink down heavy into the bed, and your arms and your hands, all the way out to the very tips of your fingers, growing warm and slow and still. Let your back settle deep into the softness beneath you, and your legs go heavy, and your feet grow warm and loose. There's nothing left to hold on to. There's nowhere else to be. Just here, just now, just this warm and quiet dark all around you, holding you gentle as you sink down into it. And you know, in a little while, when this story comes softly to its end, there'll be another one waiting for you, quiet and gentle just like this one, ready to drift in soft and low and carry you along through the rest of the night. So there's no need to reach for anything, no need to move or wake or stir at all. Just let the next one come to you, all on its own, the way one gentle wave follows another up the quiet shore. Let it roll in soft and easy and keep you company down there in the warm dark, so my voice can stay right here beside you, low and steady, all through the long, peaceful hours until morning. You don't have to do a thing. Just rest and let it come. And if these quiet journeys have brought you any comfort, if they've helped to smooth the edges off your day and carry you down soft towards sleep, then you might, sometime when you're awake again and the sun is up, quietly let yourself follow along, so there'll always be another gentle story here waiting for you whenever the night grows long. But that's a thing for the daytime, for some far-off waking hour that doesn't matter at all right now. Right now, there's nothing to do but sink and drift and let yourself be carried. Right now, the only thing in all the world is the soft, warm weight of your own quiet rest. Let me tell you, softly now, about the way the whole earth settles into the deep of the night. All across the sleeping world, in this quiet hour, the creatures are at their rest. The deer lie folded in the tall grass at the edge of the woods, their breathing slow and even. The birds are tucked warm in the dark branches, their small heads turned back beneath their wings. The great whales drift slow through the deep, half dreaming, rising now and then for a soft, slow breath. The bees are still in their hives, and the swans float quiet on the dark, still water, and the little dormouse sleeps curled tight and warm in its cozy nest, deep in the winter dark. All of them resting, all of them at peace, the whole wide living world grown quiet and slow together beneath the same soft moon. And you're a part of that now, one small, warm resting thing among all the others, breathing slow and easy in the great gentle hush of the sleeping earth. The stars are wheeling slow overhead, the way they always do, patient and silent, turning through the long dark hours while the world sleeps beneath them. The tide is breathing in and out along the quiet shores, The rivers are winding easy toward the sea. And down here, warm in your bed, you're breathing slow and soft along with all of it. Part of the same great gentle rhythm, rocked along easy on the quiet turning of the world. There's nothing you need to hold, nothing you need to keep watch over. Nothing at all left to do but breathe and rest and let yourself be carried down into the deep, soft dark where sleep is waiting, patient and warm, to take you the rest of the way. Let your breathing go slower still, if it hasn't already, each breath drifting in soft and easy and out again, slow, like the gentle roll of the sea far off in the calm night. And with every breath out, let yourself sink a little further, a little heavier, a little deeper into the warm quiet. There's no bottom to reach, no place you have to get to. Just down and down, soft and slow, into the gentle dark, further with each easy breath, until the thoughts themselves go quiet and blurred and drift away like slow clouds off the face of the moon. You are safe here. You are warm here. You are held here, gentle and sure, in the deep, soft quiet of the night. Everything that needed doing today is done now, and everything that comes tomorrow can wait for tomorrow. There is nothing left but this warm and peaceful dark, this slow and easy breathing, this gentle sinking down and down into rest. Let it take you now. Let go of the last little thread of waking, soft and easy, the way a leaf lets go of the branch in the still autumn air and drifts down slow and silent to the quiet ground below. Down and down, soft and warm and heavy, into the deep, still dark where all is calm and all is well. The moon keeps her quiet watch above you. The stars turn slow and patient overhead. The whole gentle world sleeps on around you, and you're sleeping now too, drifting away soft and easy on the last of my voice, sinking down into the warm and dreamless dark, held safe and gentle all the long night through. Rest now. Rest easy. There's nothing left to do, and nowhere left to go, and all the time in the world to simply lie here, warm and still and peaceful, sinking softly down into sleep. Let the quiet take you. Let the warm dark hold you. Let yourself drift all the way down, gentle and slow and easy, into the deep, sweet rest you've earned. Sleep now, soft and warm and safe. Sleep deep and sleep well, and let the gentle night carry you all the way through to the soft light of morning. I'll be here, low and steady, until you're all the way gone, and the quiet stories will keep drifting in, one after another, to watch over you through the dark. You're safe, you're warm, you're carried, gentle and sure, down into the deep and peaceful dark. Rest now, all the way. Good night.